We are going live. It's loading. All right, we are live. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. What's up, everybody? We are live, y'all. We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Government Cloud Podcast. My name is Will. I am the host of this show. You guys already know. If you're watching this for the very first time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you can see, we have a full panel of beautiful ladies joining us tonight, and we have some great topics to discuss tonight. Don't forget, for all those who support and like and subscribe to my channel, thank you so much for all my supporters out there. Thank you so much for everybody that always send me positive feedback. If you love the content, appreciate what I do, want to support me, press that like and subscribe button real quick. And much love to all you guys out there. Don't forget, I do have a disclaimer real quick. I need to put out my disclaimer.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be
So
advised.
if you're under the age of 18, I have to let you know this conversation is mature and adult audiences only. So if you're under the age of 18, I need you to go to sleep right now. Nevertheless, I had to put my disclaimer out there for everybody that's watching. Don't forget, we do have the live chat. You guys already know. Thank you so much for all those who always tune in every single weekend to my show. We do have the live chat. So let me know what you guys think. We're going to be discussing a variety of different topics and perspectives tonight. And let me know what your thoughts are. And drop that live chat comment and let me know and get that live chat going. Don't forget, we do have the super chat donations. So if you guys definitely want to support me and fully want to support my channel, support it with your pockets financially, drop a super chat donation. And much love to all you guys out there, always financially supporting my channel. If you do want to drop a super chat, just ask it through a question, ask it through a topic, and we'll be able to reciprocate that and answer it live. So if you have a specific question for me, or if you have a specific question for the lovely guest, or a topic that you want us to discuss live, real time on the show, ask it through a super chat donation, and I'll be able to read it live on the show. Just give you a shout out, and we'll reciprocate it, and we'll discuss it just for you on this show. Don't forget, this is a public show. I always want to promote people to have a conversation, promote open dialogue and discourse. We can agree to disagree. I know a lot of people out there love my content, but also know there's a lot of haters out there. So all my haters out there, if you're upset or triggered by my content, then come on the show. I always invite you to come on and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Tell me why you think you disagree with me. But like I said, you guys have a lot to say in my DMs or in my comments. But like I said, I always welcome you to come on. I'm not afraid to have a conversation with you. But you don't know the rules. Just be respectful, respect me, respect the platform, respect the guests, and I'll be able to jump on. Don't forget, if you do want to be on the public, jump on the show. There'll be times throughout the show, allow you guys to come in. I do have a waiting list. I can see the names pop up. So just watch the show and I will call your name out. And then once I call your name out, I'll add you on and you can come on and join the conversation. All right, don't forget, but that's pretty much it, y'all. Thank you so much. We got the live. Let's definitely get this show going. We have a great show for you guys tonight. I'm gonna ask all the beautiful ladies, thank you so much for joining. Like, if you guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start off with Virian. Go ahead, Virian. Introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, everybody. My name is Virian. I am a singer-songwriter, born and raised in LA. I am Mexican and in my 20s.
Oh, okay. And Virian, what is your relationship status?
I am single and just open.
All right, she's single, y'all.
Hey.
All right, thank you so much. And I like the open at the end. I like that. Or just a nice little touch at the end. All right, thank you so much, Vivian. I really appreciate you for jumping on and having you on the podcast tonight. I'm gonna pass it on to Sage. Sage, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Sewan Sanagoa. I'm Sage Athankae. I'm a proud two-spirit individual woman. I am currently in a very loyal relationship with my boyfriend of about 1.5 years. So happy to be here.
All right, no worries, no worries. And did you mention your possible age, Sage?
Oh, I am 19 years old.
It is all good. It's all good. Thank you so much, Sage. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you jumping on the show and being part of this podcast. And last but not least, Go ahead, Lovleen, and introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, well, thank you, Will. Hello, everyone. I'm Loveleen. I grew up in India. I moved here in 2003, so you can call me Asian Indian. I'm gonna skip the age question. You know, it's just a number. We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
So currently, I'm happily divorced, happily single, and that's what my current status is. And I want to maintain it that way for now because I just started finding myself, and that's how Will found me on TikTok. TikTok helped me discover myself. We're just gonna keep it that way. I'm a professor by day and a TikToker by night, so that's what I'm doing for now.
Yeah.
All right, no worries. All right. And I just want to give a shout out to my first time having a doctor on the podcast. So shout out to shout out to Loleen. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. But I guess, yeah, nevertheless, thank you so much for watching this right now. Much love. Thank you so much for watching. But let's get right into the show. So, ladies, my very first question, and you know, for me, I like to start it hot. I like to ask a hot topic to start off the question. So this is my question for you guys. I don't know if we all live in America. So one of the things, I'm big on statistics. So one of the things I've noticed in America, marriage rates is starting to decline. So, people are no longer getting married anymore. And, there's this term, women have control access to sex and men control access to relationships. So based on the conversation with a lot of men, one of the things they always mention, the reason why a lot of times they don't want to marry the women in modern day society is a lot of women today don't know how to be a wife, right? So that's the conversation we have. So my question for you, ladies, I'm just interested to hear your perspective is, what does being a wife mean to you? Like, what is the role of a wife according to your opinion, experience, and knowledge? So that's the question. That's the feedback I get from a lot of men. They say a lot of women today don't know how to be a wife or wifey material. So I just want to have a conversation with you guys, ladies. You're all women out here. So I'm interested to ask you guys, what is a wife? What does being a wife mean to you? And what is the role of a wife according to your opinion? And I'm just interested to hear your perspective on that. And that's my first question. So also Samaya, hopefully I'm not killing your name. That was our last guest. I just saw your name pop up. So Samaya, if you're watching this right now, you were trying to jump on. I know you tried to jump on during when I was doing the introductions. I know you're part of the panel. So if you're watching this right now, if you see this, just jump on again. Once your name pops up, I'll allow you to jump on if you're part of the guest. I know you're running a little bit late. So Samaya, if you're watching this right now, just from Pakistan, London, I think that's where you're from. So if you watch this right now, jump on. I'll add you to be part of the guest. Just want to let you know right now. Also, I do see Che Alexander, right? I see your name just pop up. So Che Alexander, I see you want to be part of the conversation. Just be patient. Let the ladies answer the questions, and then I'll allow you to jump on and be part of the conversation. Ooh, there's a lot of people want to jump on already. They got something to say. You got something to say. But nevertheless, ladies, that's my question. I'll start it off with you, Loveleen. Loveleen, what's your response to that?
I have two questions. Number one, am I supposed to stay on the Zoom call, or do I need to jump onto the live on YouTube call?
Oh no, just stay on the Zoom call. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number two, the question that you asked, like a lot of men have been saying that women these days are not the wife material. Mm-hmm. Has any woman ever admitted to you on this show otherwise that they're not a wife material, or is this just coming from men?
No, I've had asked that question to women before on this podcast, and I asked the ladies, why do you think disqualifies a woman, or it's not attractive for a woman for a man to commit to them? And then women would say these are certain behaviors that if you act this way, men won't wife you up, but women probably won't give you any commitment.
Okay, but they said that they won't give you commitment. But has any woman ever said that I cannot be a wife material? I'm not a wife material.
No, nobody has openly said that. Openly said that. Yeah.
So it's just a statement or opinion of some men. But I mean, I'm still going to answer that.
Well, the statistics, right? It shows that the marriage rates are declining. So it does show statistically that men are no longer marrying or proposing to women no more. as
Correct,
you was compared to a couple
right.
20 years ago.
And that might be an issue with just men because they are not proposing to women. But I'm still going to answer your question. I'm not
Okay, no
trying
worries.
to
No
dodge
worries,
an
no worries.
argument.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
I mean, like I said, I already have a problem with with this concept that I think they're entitled to their opinion. However, at the same time, I just feel like things have drastically changed in the last 15 to 20 years.
Mhm.
From my perspective, what I have seen, and I don't have much experience in dating, very limited, but based on that, and I have only met, I wouldn't say dated, met mostly Asian Indian men. You know, I have never even gone on a date with another ethnicity. Maybe I need to open myself to that. I just feel like it's coming more from men because they are so insecure in themselves that they
Mhm.
just tag a woman, an independent woman, a woman who's working, taking care of her family, herself. They just see what is projected as an outsider, you know. They just see that and just tag it because they themselves are insecure and tag them that
Mhm.
she may not be a wife material without actually giving it a chance.
Mhm.
I will come back to that. I have more to say on it, but I don't want to take time away from Virian and Sage. So
No,
that's
no, you got time.
Go
You got
ahead.
time. We
Go
just started.
ahead.
We
Go
just
ahead.
started. Go ahead. Give me your full response.
so yeah. I mean, not just a wife. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to get married again. I was actually married twice. You can say like kind of arranged marriages both times because it was 10 out of 10 on a paper. I mean, but you don't know if somebody has a mental illness, like severe mental illness, don't want to, take any
Mhm.
help, or if somebody
Mhm.
is an addict, addicted to cocaine or gambling or alcoholic. So there's only like, I have like 10-year period for each person that I devoted to them with help and stuff, and then you just move on. But when it comes to the wife stuff or lifelong partner, I just think like there's some basic things that should be given. Like, what do you want from your partner, wife or husband? Loyalty, honesty, communication. Now, everybody would say like, oh, I can just do the first two. That's fine. However, it's not that easy. We are so scared to open up. We are not honest to our own selves, right? And when you meet somebody new, you're scared like how this person is going to judge me. What do they want to think of me if I'm my true self. Communication is the hardest that I experienced myself. Even though I just feel like the men that I've spoken to, even though they say like, oh, I'm a communicator, I wouldn't go to sleep without resolving a situation. However, when a situation arises, they do the exact opposite. And I believe like they themselves don't know that this is who they are. They read all this literature, they watch all these kind of podcasts and movies, and they think like they're learning things, and that's how they portray themselves. I'm not saying that they pretend to be like that or they put a facade on. What I'm saying is like they actually believe this is who they are. And when the situation arises and there's a small topic that you want to communicate, conflict arises. They see a conflict, they just see like, oh my God, there's something off here, and they run. So, and if you point out to them at that point or later on, like, hey, you know what, I think, this is what I was talking about as a communicator, they would even shut down more because they feel like, okay, now is, there's a blame game going on or whatever. So when it comes to wife material or long-term relationship, loyalty, honesty, commitment, which is part of that, communication, right? And we do want somebody who's responsible. We want someone who's responsible. And these days, I noticed financial responsibility is a huge one. I've been in a situation, where I've been taken advantage of. So these are some of the things that you want, somebody who's caring, you have affection. And we talk about chemistry. Everybody keeps talking. This is such a cliche question, like, oh, they talk, what do you do for fun? Or, I want chemistry. But chemistry takes time to develop. When you meet somebody, the energy that's bouncing off is a physical energy, physical chemistry. And based on research and psychology, it actually does take 2 to 4 months to fall in love with the person if you're seeing them on a regular basis. Because in the time span of 2 to 4 months, that's when all those are the small nuances, starts appearing. You start getting to know somebody in another way. So if you spend 2 days with someone, 2 full days, 2 full nights, you can learn a lot about a person, and you would know if this is a person that you can do everything with, and if this is a person you can do nothing with, right? And these are the few things that you get to know. So yeah, in a nutshell, I believe like we all are capable of giving affection, given a chance, right? And given a chance, like trust. We all are capable of being loyal and committed, because those are related to trust issues or our experiences, or goes back to childhood, or like if you think from psychological perspective, we are capable of that. It's just a matter of time or how much we are willing to do. And I'm the kind of person who doesn't leave any stones unturned to make a relationship work. I've done that, been there, got my t-shirt and a flag and medals. So based on my experience, that's what I would say. So I don't think like there's anybody who's unwifeable or not capable of being one. But it's just a matter of time, like how convincing you are to trust somebody, or how persuasive you are in your efforts. Because we just don't want to be let down. We don't want to be disappointed. There are times that I don't open myself to people because I have fear of rejection, and I admit it. It takes me time to open up. People talk to me and they say, "You're so different on your TikTok. You're so different in your pictures." But when we meet you in person, like you are very reserved and kind of an introvert. I'm like, first of all, I have a short attention span, dude. If you're talking for over like a minute or so, like you lost me a long time ago. If it's not interesting, I'm absent-minded too. I'm trying to process whatever you're telling me. So you need to be patient there. Number 3, I really want to know if, you are the kind of person I would open myself to, because we have walls and layers around us. Some people have called it a noise. In my case, that you have a lot of noise around you. I say it's a good thing, because all these like extra fillers, outliers, they just fall through it. Not everybody has a right to get to know the real me, So based on these things, I don't think people put enough time and effort to get to know somebody. And just because they're insecure, I'm talking about, because I'm straight, so I'm just talking about relationship between man and woman. I don't have any right to talk about, anything else. Based on that, I would say the men I've come across, they might, in my age group, they might have been professionally successful. They may have been in this country for over 20 years and they think they're very westernized. However, that's one thing I found out about men, that their core values do not change. They may change their lifestyle. They may start going to gym. They may start picking up hobbies that many Western men pick, but when it comes to core values, it's really, really difficult for them to change. It's a huge process. On the contrary, women, when they change, they may not change their outside appearance as much, but their values would change in perspective, So that's what I feel like. Maybe their perspective need to change in certain ways. But on the same note, like what you said, she's not wifeable. Let me try another one, because we are living in a disposable society. It's a right swipe over left swipe, right? Okay, this conflict arose with her. I don't want to work on it. Let me go to next one. So these are the things that I think, like, I'm assuming why some people may have tagged some people unwifeable. But I feel it's a matter of time and effort.
Do you believe, do you believe that there are certain traits and characteristics and behaviors that can make a woman unwifeable? The same way a man can have certain characteristics and behaviors that makes him unattractive to women?
Absolutely, the diagnosed narcissistic disorder.
Yeah, but so I want to hear that from you. So, what are the traits that doesn't make a woman not wifeable, and then what are the traits, according to you, that do make a woman wifeable and become a good wife?
I believe everybody is capable of being a good partner, given a chance, time, and effort, unless there are some serious issues, right? If somebody is a criminal, of course, that cannot be wifeable or husbandable or whatever, right? If there's some serious medical issues, like, narcissistic, psychopath, narcissistic, sociopath, or alcoholic, or an addict.
Well, I know that's more like the extreme problem. I'm just talking about like basics, sexual attraction, things that can, if you do this, like the one that both men and women, if you have bad hygiene, that may be a reason why nobody will want to be attracted to you, right?
that's a habit that can be changed.
Well,
Core
yeah, well,
values cannot be changed, right?
yeah, but but there are certain things that women can do, and there are certain things that men can do. Perfect example would be if a man doesn't is broke, right? As a man, and if you don't have an ambition to be financially stable, if you decide to be broke, that's a reason why a lot of women may not come your way attracted to attract towards you, and also no women want to make a man that's a husband that's a bum, right? So that's one thing for men, but I'm more for, but the question was for the women, like what are qualities or traits, what makes a good wife according to you, and then what are the things that doesn't make a good wife? Because that's what the conversation for a lot of men is. A lot of women today are not wifey material, so basically they're seeing traits and things in women that clearly for them that they don't want to wife up. The same way for you guys, when you see men, I'm sure when you guys see men, you see a potential. When you have the qualities and traits to look for a good husband, a good long-term man, and the men that don't show those qualities, they're like, I'm not even going. I am not giving that man no attention because he has those certain traits I don't want to. That shows that that's not good for a long-term relationship to make him a good husband. So it's the same thing for men when it comes to for wife. So, but that's the question. Like for you, like what are those? Like what makes a good wife? What is the role of a wife, or what are certain traits and behaviors that makes a good wife and doesn't make a good wife?
So in short, okay, I see what your point. In short, you're very right. Yeah, if somebody needs a lot of care, like if somebody's needy, right? I mean, those are things that you don't want to see in your partner. And if you spent enough time with them, if you give them chance, 3 months, 6 months, and you see this continues despite your support and help, definitely I don't want to be with a person like that. If somebody's not financially responsible, those are definitely the things that I wouldn't want in my partner. But I will only know those things after I spend time with them. So I think I thought like maybe we are talking about like maybe in the initial stages, you meet somebody for first time.
No, just wife, like for wife. Like what makes a good wife according to you?
I mean, somebody who is committed to the family, somebody that you can rely upon, somebody that who's not just going to leave and go. I mean, I know like my partners, they always come back. They want to be back with me. I would like to be back with me too. If I was my own wife, I would like to be, back with me too, because you can depend upon me. I don't leave any stones unturned. I will be there for you no matter, through thick and thin. So those are some of the traits that would make a really, really good life partner, along with being responsible in taking care of yourself and financially responsible, being independent to some extent. Like, so, but that should be mutual. Like, like if I have to take time off, my partner should be able to provide, or vice versa. So definitely somebody you can go out with without making a scene. Somebody would keep a calm head through every situation and not just going to flip at every small thing. Someone who knows how to communicate when a conflict arises. So, I mean, these are some of the like small things that people usually ignore initially, but this is what holds the relationship together,
Okay. All right. No worries.
I took so long.
No, it's good. Don't worry, no worries.
That was awesome.
Lovely.
You guys are kind.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing. So if you guys are watching this right now, let me know what your thoughts are. And based on everything what Lovely shared, I'm interested to hear your perspectives. And don't forget, if you want to be part of the show, we do have the public Zoom link. I just posted in the live chat. Just click on the link. You can jump on. And if you're watching this right now, press that like, subscribe button real quick. Don't be a ninja watcher. Like and subscribe to that to the channel. Anyways, I'll pass it on to Vivian. Vivian, what's your thoughts about the question? What makes a good wife according to you, or for you? Like, what's the role of a good quality wife?
That's a great question. Because I'm bisexual, so I play both roles sometimes, depending on the situation. I'd say to sort of jump off of what you were saying, Lovelane, communication, commitment is something as well that is important. But I think communication is number one at the beginning of the relationship, and establishing that, especially before maybe even having that conversation about marriage, because not everybody's open to marriage. Like, I don't believe in marriage personally.
Okay.
It's not for me.
Agreed.
I believe in partnership. Partnership is the word that I use. So, but the reality is that still qualifies as what I could answer with here, in saying that for my partner, my wife or me being the wife, it's important that there's direct communication and commitment at the beginning of the relationship, moving on to the possibility of having the conversation of something more serious, like marriage.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. Vivian, this is just my curiosity because I know you said that you have a homosexual relationship, right? So one thing I do notice, even in heterosexual relationships, even in homosexual relationships, there is still like a role, like there's still a masculine and feminine in the relationship, whether it's homo and hetero. In your relationship, are you the feminine one or the more the masculine one in your relationship?
If I have to label it, because I can't, personally, I hate that we have to use labels, but we got to use them, right?
Yeah.
In order for us to get through these
Context,
paradigms and communicate with everybody so that we can get along, right? And
yeah.
So I would say that for me, if you were to use street terms, I'm a switch. So either way.
Oh, okay.
So it just depends on who I meet and who I fall in love with.
Okay. Is there a specific? I know you're switched, but is there a specific one that you prefer to be in a relationship, or you just like to be both? Equal.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. I just like wanted to ask. Just wanted to ask. All right. No worries. Thank you, Vivian, for sharing it. And the same thing. If you're watching this right now, let me know what your thoughts are and everything she said. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. On the live chat. And we're gonna pass it on to our last guest, Sage. What is your response to this question? What do you think makes a good wife and a good quality wife? What does a wife mean to you?
Well, I just wanted to go off of Virian as well. I am also, I am a two-spirit person, so we don't really go by like the modern binaries of things. But if I were to put myself into a category, which just makes it easier to explain, I would say that I am pansexual or bisexual. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But yeah, like in my stance as a wife and someone who I am in a relation, hetero. I don't like to say that, but I am in a relationship with a man right now. Yeah. So as a wife, I don't really see myself as a wife because I have very strong masculine energy within me as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So I like to see myself more as just like a partner, as a life partner, and someone who is supposed to stick by you and stand by you through thick and thin, and just like communication. I've been hearing that a lot, and that's I was a quarantine couple, me and my boyfriend. And we moved together really early because we lived very far away from each other. And I wanted to move to where he was, and he got a new apartment. He was like, well, we could do this together. And I was just like, okay. So, but communication is absolutely key. Communication and just even noticing your own patterns with communication. Cause I have had to be a little serious for a second, I've had some problems with anger and stuff, and depression and anxiety and stuff like that. So it's just noticing patterns in myself that I need to fix, or that I need help fixing, and having those communication skills to tell my partner that I need some help in this stuff, and not just I need to work on this myself. It's I need to work on this, but I also have someone to help me through the journey. So it's I know that sounded so pretentious, but that's the best way I could put it. But yeah.
Okay. No worries. Okay. So all right. So on this podcast, we have to keep it real and unfiltered and raw, right? So
yeah, what's up?
I was listening to all of y'all, and much respect to everything you guys mentioned, but I don't believe none of you guys still answered the question of what makes a quality wife, right? and that's and that's what I think that's a conversation I want to focus on, because if you ask me like what makes a quality husband, right? The thing for me is like I know every single trait that for me to work on as a man that's gonna attract a quality woman. I have to be responsible, right? I have to be strong. I have to be able to be ambitious. I have to be able to be financially, emotionally, spiritually, and physically be able to support my family and my kids, right? Loyal. Those are like those. Even if I don't work on those certain traits, if I'm weak, if I'm a bum, I'm ambitious. If I'm lazy, I'm a fat. Because I get fat. All right. Then if those are the traits I exhibit as a man and I don't work on as a man, there's a high probability of women not coming my way, and also a high probability for me not to attract the woman I really want to pursue in life, right? So, so my question for you guys is like, if we want to go down to specifics, like what are certain, let's just break it down easy. What's the role of a wife? Like what is a wife supposed to do? So if you go into a relationship, if you found the man of your dreams, what is your, or woman for you guys, but since we're talking about the wifey one, so let's assume coming from a wifey perspective, like what is the role of a woman? What is the role of a wife? I'm sorry. What is the role of a wife in a relationship? If you happen to find the man of your dreams, a good quality husband that's worth your time and worth you, what is your role to him? I'll go back. I'll go. Sorry. Go ahead, Sage. Go ahead.
Thank you. My bad. I get too excited with this.
No, but, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, something I'm very passionate in, but especially in a man-woman relationship right now.
Yeah.
I see like personally as the wife, as the significant other, I feel that I really do have like, and it's inherent, like, I don't want to say it's inherent in women, but like the women that I know in my life, we are very nurturing and caring and very like emotionally aware. And like, even though I will say like I am on the spectrum, so I'm not like amazingly like emotionally aware. Like I tend to find myself like picking up the pieces of certain situations. And it's like, I have questioned myself if that is really like, and I feel like the role as the wife is definitely to be like emotionally aware and not emotionally aware, but like emotionally present and very like we just have a tendency to bring up the energy and like whatever we're talking about, but also not like distract ourselves from the important matters at hand. I don't know if like I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Y'all are so like eloquent. Like I'm just over here.
You're good. You're good.
Not me. Don't include me in that.
Oh my God, no. You can't say that with a whole doctorate. Oh my goodness.
No, yeah.
I made that up. I bought it online. So yeah.
I need the website.
Yeah.
But no, like I definitely feel that like that inherent just drive in me to nurture like things around me. And it's like, and also be very responsible and in my mental health as well, of course. Like you said, I feel like with a man's role, it can be very like mirrored into a woman's role as well. Like it's very just like, I don't know. And also as a two-spirit person, we had like different gender roles before colonial gender norms and roles. So like women were really like, we were just the foundation of everything. And or at least in my tribe, I'm majority Haudenosaunee. That's really the culture that I am familiar in. But like the women were really the foundation and the wisdom really of the tribe and everything. And the men did everything. I can swear. Okay. My bad. I'm just like trying to catch myself and I'm like, oh wait, okay, I'm good. But the women really like held shit down, honestly. And the men were also like a very vital role as well. But I just noticed in modern relationships, it's very like centered around the man. And it's like, are we nurturing, or do we just want to like create balance and like understanding in the relationship? Not saying that like men don't want to, of course, but like, I don't know. I feel like women are just very like neutral in energy, and we just like try and bring balance to shit with lack of better words.
Quick question, Sage.
Of course.
What do you think is the role of a man or husband in a relationship? What's just like what's the role of a husband, of a man in a relationship?
Yeah. Well, I personally feel that the man in my relationship plays the role of supporting me just as much as I can support them, like being very emotionally aware and very emotionally present in themselves as well. Because I have had, like, as young as I am, I've had like relationships with men or men who aren't very like in tune with their emotions. And it's very frustrating as a woman because like we are very emotionally aware, and we just find, or at least I find, emotion to be like one of your core like pillars of health, really. Like if you have a broken leg, you're going to go to the doctor. So if you're depressed or upset or not feeling good, like you should get help. Like, and that really like really comes into like the people of color, like Black and Indigenous specifically. What I'm aware of is just like we just push mental health like to the side so much, of like to the point where it's just like the women have to pick up the pieces. So I feel that a man's role in today's society is to be emotionally aware in himself and to be emotionally responsible in himself. Because like when it comes to like finances and stuff, I feel like we both should be financially responsible. We should both be like as like nurturing to our kids, or I don't even know, like.
No worries.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for sharing, Sage. Thank you for sharing.
Just sweating a little. Thank y'all so much for just being so sweet, for real. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna pass it to you, Vivian. The same thing.
Yeah. So the same question, right?
Yeah. What's the
Okay. So I think, as I was sitting here, I thought, well, let's roll it back a little bit to what my family is like, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think we grow up and we have this sort of inherent teaching of how we are supposed to be, right, as wives, right? And so in the Mexican community, the women stays home. The women, they cook. The woman, she takes care of the kids. She is the one that's responsible for making sure that the husband has their lunch ready before he leaves the door, his breakfast, his lunch, his dinner, his laundry, you name it, So if I were to ask myself, okay, what makes a good wife in that perspective, it would be somebody who could take on the role of taking care of the household. But the reality is, because things are so different, at least for me and my experience and what I've been through, because my bubble popped. I'm sure everybody has a different experience with what it means to dream. Like Disney paints this picture of, oh my gosh, my Prince Charming, right? And so you grow up and you think, oh my gosh, my Prince Charming, or wait, or is it my princess? I don't know, right? And so here you are confused with all these ideas. And so then you get out there in the real world, and then bam, something happens and it changes everything. And all of a sudden you're reading self-help books. You're trying to figure out, like, man, where did I go wrong? Or am I crazy? Or is it the family of that doesn't even know that for the last 300 years has probably been developing these habits that they themselves aren't even aware of? Like, there's issues of rape in the villages where my family is. And so, as soon as that happened, guess what? You don't talk about it. You don't say anything. It's like it's a hush hush situation, right? But yet the wife is still a good wife in that scenario. So just to paint a picture here of what I've seen and experienced, I look at some of my family members and I ask myself, like, damn, they're not willing to stand up for themselves. They're so submissive, right? Submissive is a word that I hear very much in these, whether it's religion or cultural circles. It's being submissive, right? And so I could see that maybe as a child, as I started to grow up and think that one day I'd find my Prince Charming. I think in that scenario, if I would have had a good experience, because I was engaged at one point, if I would have had a good experience and it actually fell through on the other side, meaning the person that I was with, the fiance, right, the male, that I was hoping would be one day a good husband, turned out to be shit, then damn, my world is turned upside down. And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, what does it even mean to be anything, you know? So just to kind of give you an idea of where my mindset is, if you were to ask both sides of my family, one side is more conservative than the other. One would say that a good wife is stay home, take care of the kids, do everything that the husband says. You have no say whatsoever. Be submissive. That's what it means to be a good wife. On the other hand, my other side of the family would say it would mean that both of you have careers, both of you want to succeed and make six figures. It would mean that you both have a say equally. It would mean that you have that conversation if you want to have children, buy a house. It would mean equality in the role of what it means to be a good wife and good male, meaning not being so self-conscious is another thing that we see, right? Self-esteem issues, mental health issues, as you said, all these things. It would mean all of that. However, on the other side of the family, therapy is like, no, you don't do that. You don't need therapy, right? You just be submissive because that is what my mother did, and that's what her mother did, and that's what her mother did, and that's just how it is. So those are just kind of a few scenarios just to kind of paint a picture of to answer that. I hope it answered it a little bit.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That's
sharing.
some real shit.
Thank you for sharing, Maria. And before I give my thoughts, I'm gonna ask Lovely the same thing. You know, just what's the role of a wife? Just according to you.
So while Sage and William were sharing their opinions, here I'm sitting here thinking, am I going to talk about role of a wife as per an Indian Hindu household, or what I always have had in my mind, because I've always been rebellious and the black sheep, you know, and I didn't know that. So role of a wife as per Hindu culture or Asian Indian culture is basically, like William said, just being submissive. Whatever is happening to you or around you, you just take it, right? So even if it means being in an abusive marriage for years and years and years, once you give away your daughter, that's it. This is your house now. That's where you're gonna live for the rest of your life. You deal with your own problems. So those are things that, you know, I grew up around with. However, at the same time, I believe my generation has been the one that has seen most changes from technology, culture, you know, and economic. Like my generation has seen the most changes. Growing up, I mean, there were no computers growing up, and then suddenly there were. So I also felt like there was a shift in culture in terms of a role of a wife or role of a husband. It like today, it's more fluid and flexible, and I like it that way. So role of a wife, I wouldn't say role of a wife. I just have, I have an issue with that. I would say role of a partner, because I think it applies on both people. Like these two ladies share, like definitely emotionally available. I think that came up in conversation, is to be there. Being respectful. I know most people talk about love, but to me, respect comes even before love. If you can't respect, to me, if I can't respect somebody, I can't be in love with the person. You know, my love would just diminish, deteriorate, you know. So role of a wife, definitely, like I said, so we take, in Hindu marriage, we take 7 steps around the fire. There's the 7 steps, the 7 vows, right? And basically you're promising each other to be there for each other through thick and thin, you know, health and sickness and so on. So yeah, just fulfill those vows. Be there for each other. No matter what happens, you don't give up. But at the same time, like we were discussing earlier, right? If there is something going on in terms of depression, I believe Sage brought it in the first question, that when we're talking about qualities of a wife, like how your partner would react to it. In our culture, there was no concept of like depression or anxiety. It's funny actually. I joke about it. Like if I'm in a bad mood as a child, I was raised by my grandparents. So my mother passed away when I was young, and so I was raised by my grandparents. So they were my role models. So if I'm in a bad mood or something, even as a teenager, if I'm having a heartbreak, which I couldn't tell them, the best thing was like, okay, get up and eat this, you'll be fine. So we joke about it, like, everything could be fixed with a piece of samosa, or like some good Indian food. That was their therapy. There was no concept of that. Like I thought like growing up, I could have used counseling, but we didn't have any counselors in school, even though I went to convent schools, like really good schools. My dad paid for all that, but we didn't have any such facilities. So based on that, role of wife was what I just kind of gathered from watching people around me. Like my grandmother was very submissive. She didn't have any other source of income, so she just had to adhere to whatever was going on around her. Most people wouldn't call it abusive so that's another thing with Asian Indian people. If you're not calling names, you're not hitting somebody, they think they're not abusive. Everybody completely forgets and skip about the emotional abuse, disrespect and everything. So I would say like there were a lot of conflicts in my grandparents' marriage too, but nobody ever recognized it or acknowledged it. Since it was not acknowledged, it was like a hush hush kind of thing. So I had that perspective in my mind. The role of a wife was what? Okay, so the dating, when I was growing up, it was not that acceptable. The concept of, just your husband, your first boyfriend, and so on. So that was also in the back of my mind, that was also a role of a wife. Then you stay committed to your husband when you're married, to your partner, right? Then you do, so even if you have to work full time, and I've seen many women like that, you still come home and do all the household work. But I think I've been fortunate in those things, and I've seen my friends too. They do help, like I said, they become a little more fluid. They do help their partners, with the household responsibilities and other things. They are really not that uptight about it, which is a good thing. So talking about that, like, yeah, compassionate, respectful, loving, being there for you, somebody you can depend on, rely on. Those would be the roles of a good partner. You can deem it as a wife or a husband. And I think Sage brought a very good point, like financially, like, today we all are equipped, in ways that we can provide for ourselves. And if we have to, for our children too. So both can be financially responsible, but at the same time, we need to respect and acknowledge what the other person do for their living, or if needed to be, we can give each other a break as well. Yeah. Why I keep bringing up this topic, because I have been there, I've been there, and I feel like a lot could be done in those terms when it comes to mentality. In the same way, like, men are considered like the providers of the family. So, but at the same time, I feel that puts a lot of pressure on them too. I know we are talking about women here. So, but I do want to bring this point up that in my culture, it's considered weak if a man cries. So there's this huge stereotype that a man can't open himself. A wife, it's okay for a wife to cry. There are a lot of jokes about that too, that, oh, you know what, when women can't get their way around, they will just cry to get their way around, which I sometimes find insulting. But that also kind of pertains to the role of a wife, like why these jokes are there, because of course she was not heard. There was no due respect to her opinion, right? And so I feel like keeping all that in mind, because we are talking about cultural shift here, and William pointed out that very well too. Like, no, you just do whatever you need to do for your husband. Your primary goal is to keep him happy in every way, regardless of where your happiness lies, regardless of how you feel about it. And maybe I feel really fortunate to be where I am today, because I have seen that shift where men have, like in my culture, they have opened up and tried to be there in certain ways, and acknowledge their wife's happiness too. So So I believe that's what the role of a wife or a husband is, like to be there for each other, be compassionate, respectful, encourage each other, support each other. I know a few friends like whose marriage, fell apart because one person did not want to support the other while the other one wanted to take a break or, further their education. And they just thought like this person is being dependent on me. So just these things, like support each other, in their endeavors and dreams. But of course, they need to be practical, achievable. Like, if I want to say like, oh, I want to start living on a moon, we need to buy a plot on the moon. Like, obviously, it's unreasonable. And just these kinds of things. And another thing I noticed is, as a partner, I would always respect my partner outside too. I would never be disrespectful, or to him, like especially in public. If there's something going on between us, nobody outside of my home, outside my room would know about it. So I feel like that's another trait that we can learn these days. And like as a couple, like even including myself going further, like that's something like we really need to think about, like, are we being supportive of this person even, within when we're sitting among our friends or community, because those things do matter. These small things do lead to losing respect for each other, losing trust eventually. And so this is what, will make it like so much better in terms of being a partner, wife or a husband. I don't know if I answered your question directly. Well, I do have a tendency.
I get that.
No.
Around a lot, but yeah.
Oh, no, thank you for sharing. And Daniela, I see you, Daniela, if you're watching this right now, thank you. Just be patient. I'm going to add you on real quick. Thank you for ladies for sharing. I took some notes while you guys were speaking your truths. All right. But I do want to respond to everything that you guys said, because I do respectfully disagree a lot of things you guys said. And I think that's one of the challenges today. That's why we brought up the topic. A lot of men don't do it. That's what they say, is a lot of women today don't know how to be wives. And based on the responses and information when you guys were describing what a wife's role is or what makes a good wife, a lot of you guys, the things you guys said didn't go specifically on what men are looking for, especially when it comes to a wife. So if I was somebody that was listening from the outside perspective, if I would just listen to everything you said, in my mind, I'd be like, these girls have no idea what a wife should be or what a role of wife should be. But so a lot of things you guys said is like, you guys wanted honesty, communication, loyalty, and respect, right? And I think that's true. That's for both men and women. I do believe there's a difference between social attraction and sexual attraction. So social attraction is, as human beings, we all want our partners to be loyal, communicative, and honest, right? But then when it comes to selecting our partner, we always select based on what makes us sexually attracted from men to women and from women to men. There's a reason why biologically women are sexually attracted to taller men. There's a reason why biologically women are attracted to men who have more financial stability, right? There's a reason why men are attracted to women who have big ass, big titties, right? Who are beautiful, have nice bodies. I'm speaking more on a very biological. I know you guys brought up your culture, because I respect your culture where you guys come from. But as I grew up in Polynesian, I grew up in the Polynesian culture, so it varies depending where you come from. But when it comes to our sexual attraction as biologically as men and women, it's the same regardless of what culture is from. So the thing is, when it comes to sexual attraction, what men are always looking for in a wife are feminine traits, right? Like what makes a good wife but also for me, I already know my role as a man. Ask what's the role of a man? It's really, really easy. Provider, protector. Right? I already know that's my role. My role is to provide or protect my wife, provide or protect my family, and make sure that they live a quality of life. And that's my role, right? And the role of a wife, and I know this may trigger a lot of people out there, but the role of a wife is to support her husband. That's the role of a wife, is to support her husband. A man's role is to provide and protect, because biologically that's how we're built. We're built that way. And the role of a woman, because women are feminine, nurturing, caring, loving, have children. A role of a woman is to support her husband. And when I say support a husband, I mean a quality man, a man that's worthy of you, a man that's proven that he loves you because he's committed to you, and also he's proven he has the responsibility to provide and protect for you. And that's one of the things, I know one of the things that I think especially in women in modern society is because you guys talked about fluidity, talked about flexible roles, and that's a problem, right? Because if you ask most women, right, what kind of men they want, can we all agree that most women want to date taller men? Can we all agree on that?
I mean, most women, sure, but I mean,
yeah, I'm saying most women, they want their man taller.
Basically,
right?
yeah.
I
mean,
think it's about not just taller, like you said, like, we want somebody who's stronger, who you.
Well, taller. We're taller. Like, most women don't want a shorter guy. They want a taller guy, right? Let's be honest.
Taller than me, like few inches taller than me.
Yeah,
so I can
exactly.
wear heels,
taller. Yeah, exactly, taller, right? So, and of course, most women, if they had a chance, like they want a guy that has some kind of good financial stability or more, right? They don't want to date above. All right. So
money.
Exactly. So there's a biological reason for that, right? There's a reason why. So there's a reason for that, right? For you guys, for women, the reason why you guys like those, that makes you sexually attracted to men, is because women, you guys get pregnant. So as women, you're the more vulnerable sex when you guys are pregnant. It's in your best interest as a woman to pair it up with a strong man that can provide and protect you. So when you have children and when you get in that vulnerable state and having children, you have full confidence in the man that he can take care of you. On the flip side, for a man, if you ask most women, like, what do they want out of a man? Tall, ambitious, has good financial stability. He has his life together. He has his shit together. He's strong enough to take care of me, to love me, protect me. Those men who are very strong and very, I would say masculine, they're always looking for a feminine woman. And when you say feminine woman, they're looking for a partner to support him. And if, as a woman in modern society, the women have the opportunity to be whatever they want, to accomplish whatever they want. That's fine if you guys want to go out there and be successful, want to have ambitions and goals for yourself. But the thing is, women who are very ambitious, you don't want to be anybody that's ambitious, anybody that's masculine, anybody that wants to be dominant. You want to be with somebody that supports you. You don't want to be with somebody that's as dominant, as masculine, as ambitious as you, because there's going to be competition. So that's why I think Lovely said it. A lot of men are insecure if a woman's independent, if a woman is strong enough on her own, they can, they don't need a man. And I don't think it has nothing to do with insecurity. It just has everything to do with the difference between what we find sexually attractive for men who are very masculine and strong and very independent, ambitious. We don't find that those same qualities attractive. What we're always looking for, we're looking for feminine traits of a woman that supports me. And a woman that's very masculine, independent, they're not willing, like, they want men who are as ambitious in them or higher. But I think those men who are very ambitious to the same level as those women, they just want feminine women. And that's what men are looking for. So, and I think one of you guys said, like, if a man cries, I think Lovely said, if a man cries, he's considered weak. There's a reason why in society, there's a reason why society as men, we think men who will cry is weak. I believe if a man cries, I don't think it's weak, but if a man continues to cry and doesn't learn how to discipline his emotions, then it's weak. Because like I told you guys before, a man's primary role and responsibility is to provide and protect his family. So if a man keeps crying, the reason why it's considered weak for a lot of men, but also considered weak for a lot of women, because why would you want a man that has no discipline in his emotions, that keeps crying all the time? What happens when you get pregnant and you need him to step up to take care of the family? What happens with this danger and you need him to take care of the family? He can't keep crying about that. He needs to step up and fulfill his role as a man. That's why, it's seen as weak, and I still believe that as well. If you cry as a man, that's normal. We all cry as human beings. But if a man keeps crying, that's why it's considered weak, because he's not fulfilling his role as a man, which is provider protector. As a provider protector, you have to be strong. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to be strong even when you don't have to be strong, because of life, because of your family, because of your kids. Sometimes if I have a family, I might wake up one day, I'm not motivated to go to work, but I have to, because I have kids to feed, I have a family to take care of, I have to do the things I don't want to do. I can't just cry about it. So I have to be able to suppress my emotion. You know what? Fuck, I'm lazy right now. I don't want to go to work right now, but I have a family, I have a wife and kids to take care of. But yeah. So I know there was a lot there, but I think that this is why I'm glad we started this conversation, because if when I was just listening to you guys, like I said, like a lot of everything you guys said that had nothing to do with what men are looking for, especially when it comes to wives, and a lot of the things you guys said is not It's not what the wife is, which is, like you said, the role of a wife in a traditional relationship is to support her husband. And that's the problem today with this independent movement with a lot of women, which I don't have a problem with. But the thing is, if you, a man is not looking for a partner or a woman that's independent. A man is looking for interdependence, where a woman that can support him, that can love him, they can support his goals and dreams to help him further his ambitions and goals, be the best man they can be. And that's the thing. If you want to be in that mindset, that's fine if you want to, but when it comes to sexual attraction, that's not why men are picking. That's not why men are not picking. And that's why a lot of women today, statistically in America, women who are in the middle class and upper middle class, at the highest statistics of as far as being single and never being married. So there's this big epidemic of women in America right now that are highly successful and highly independent, but majority of them are not getting married, or they're not getting married and they're single because of everything that's normal now in modern society. But the thing is, you can't go against nature. Like our nature, biology is always going to be the same, no matter if modern society changes. That's great, but our biology will still stay the same. But that's my thoughts. I know that was a lot. Now, ladies, anything you want to reply to, respond to anything I said?
Absolutely. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
You can go ahead, Sage. I have lots of notes here as well, but you can go ahead.
Wait, before we get into this, I gotta let my cat outside. I don't want to miss 1 second.
All right, go ahead, Miriam. Go ahead, Miriam.
Yeah, so I think I could definitely see that you're speaking, because it's your opinion, right? What's that saying? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one,
Well, no, it's not opinion. I was speaking from biology. There's biological data improvement things about how we see things sexually.
Opinion biology. A lot of people like to.
Yeah, I think I
could
see where you're coming from, because if you were to look at it from like an animalistic sort of primal naturistic way, then sure, it sort of makes sense. I mean, it's like it's what animals do, right? They mate, and you've got the male and the female making a little baby, and that's just what happens. But to some degree, I think depending on what group you're asking, I think that you do represent a specific group. And yes, women are probably not getting married, but I think that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's something that we have. We should consider opening ourselves up to, that not everybody wants to get married. You know what I mean? Not everybody. Some people like being alone personally, right? It's not that you don't have the opportunity to get married, because I've been engaged. But the thing is, once I cross that line, you have to fulfill that role, and that role that you're talking about, and with certain people, So I can understand what you're saying, because I've had the opportunity to be in that, where, okay, I want to have babies, right? And I want to be the wifey, and I want to be supportive of my husband. He's my protector. Oh my gosh, I love him, right? But then it's like, because I don't see it like that anymore, my mindset is different.
Let me, Vivian, you said something that it's okay to be alone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so me personally, I believe that are there people out there that want to be alone? Yes, but I don't think that's a representation of the majority of people. I think most people.
Sure. Right.
So most people want a relationship. Most people want to be married, and most people want to have kids. There's only a small percentage, like probably like less than 1%, that want to live alone their whole life and don't want no kids, no family. But the thing is, so if we all are going to agree, that's what everybody wants. But the thing is, in life, we don't get what we want. We get what we really work for and earn. But the thing is, a lot of people are not earning that, not getting that. So clearly, there's things they're doing with their life that's not attracting that from the men. And the question we have to ask ourselves is why? Right? Why they're not getting that? And also
I see that, yeah.
And also with the women that are statistically that show the highest percentage of not being married, those very same demographic, they also show the highest levels of depression using antidepressants. So a lot of them report higher levels of unhappiness. Because, I believe as women, biologically, like you have a biological need to have children and to be part of a family. Women are very sociable. You're social creatures. So if you, maybe in your younger years when you're more independent, that's great. But I think even for me, like, do I like being alone? Yes, but I do want to get married. I do want to have kids. I want to have family. I don't want to die alone. So, the thing is,
I'm not afraid of death. So
yeah. I'm not afraid of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of this either, but no, but I'm just saying is with my opportunity here, I do want to long if I'm going to live to 70, 80, 90, like I want to have a family. I don't want to do it alone. I want to have children to take children and also a family to build.
And build a tree, yeah.
Yeah, and what's happening today is a lot of women are working towards their goals and dreams, which takes a lot of sacrifice to be independent. But then when they get older, like 40 and 50, that's when that family kicks in. So we may be cool now because we're all young now. But
you know what?
The 50s,
You're
60s,
making sense. You're making
70,
sense because I hear that.
That's when you want to be a family. That's when you need a family and want to have a partner next to you.
You know, I will share this because I do have friends, and some of my girlfriends are out dating a lot more than me because I'm not on Tinder. I don't do the apps. It's not my thing, right?
Yeah.
But I've had friends that got married off those apps, and they're really happy and in relationships, and they're starting families, and you know they have a really wonderful relationship. But I also have friends that they struggle when they go on these dates because one of the biggest issues that they come across is it's actually the other way around. The guy, for some reason, isn't available. It's like, you know, on her end, she's talking about how there's a lot of ghosting, right? Because during the pandemic, a lot of people were, I don't know about you guys, if you guys were dating on the apps, but there was a lot of people that were, I wasn't. And she was telling me that, you know, it was hard to date out there because she's ready for that step, but she can't find a guy who is, you know? So maybe that's an LA thing too, because I know LA's got its stories out here.
Oh, she's in LA?
Yeah. So, you know, maybe that's the thing, because I hear that about LA too.
You know, here's the thing, like, and I have friends too that are single, right? It really comes down to like what kind of quality man, what kind of man do you want, or what kind of woman do you want, right? So I have a lot of friends that say, I can't, you know, have a lot of girlfriends, lady friends say, oh, I can't, it's so hard for me to find the man I want, right? But then if you ask them specifically, like, what kind of man do you like? What kind of man do you want? And then they'll be like, well, I want a guy that's 6 foot. I want a guy that makes 100,000. I want a guy that's strong,
heard that.
Has 6-pack. I'm like, so you're looking for like the top tier men. So and that's social media today. Because social media, what's happened is everybody wants the social media version husband or social media version wife, and nobody wants to settle with an average person. For me, is like. For me, like the qualities I'm looking for is representation of majority of women. So if a woman, if you just want a guy to provide and protect, because back in the day, the women, our great grandparents, they just wanted to provide and protect. They didn't care about his salary. They didn't care about how much money it makes. As long as he could provide and protect for her, she was content with that, and they can make a life. But now in modern society, people want more. And they have this perception of what they want because social media has like elevated that to a very high standard, and people are not willing to settle for nothing less. And that's why a lot of people, you know, they spend so much time pursuing this super standard they have or what they want out of a partner, instead of just like, if you find somebody that's, you know, if you find somebody that's capable and that likes you, you should be able to give that person a shot. But they only want to pursue the top tier people, but you don't want to give it like 80-90% of all the other guys that could want to date you, but you don't want to give them time because you want the high value man.
That's crazy because I don't judge that deep. I'm open, you know, because your circumstance is different than mine. So like my dating, I don't have a type. I don't do that, but I do have a friend. I will say, 6 foot tall, got to make 6 figures. He better have a badass car, and he better take care of me. He better be built. He has to be buff, and you know, I've heard that, so I know what you're talking about. It exists.
Loveline, I have a question. Like, I know you're college educated. Like, do you prefer your men to be college educated, or that doesn't matter?
And do I prefer my men to be what? I'm sorry.
Do you have a college education?
Do I have a list? College education? Yes, and there's a reason for that. Like I said, I have not really been out with anyone who's not Asian Indian. I feel like college education or exposure to world does help you change your perspective or broaden your, you know, mental horizon in many ways. I have experience with people like who don't have any college education, and like from interacting with friends and family, and these people turned out to be like really, really narrow-minded. You know, I mean, to an extent of being pathetic. You know. And they would do things that are not acceptable in any society, or should not be acceptable as a human either. So I think maybe those are some of the things that really geared me towards going for somebody who has some exposure to education. But at the same time, where I feel like most people can benefit from that exposure. I also know a few people who do not have college education, but they had different experiences, but they are like just rare, like maybe 2%, who didn't need the college education to be who they are. But yes, to answer your question, yes, I do want them to have some college education.
No worries. No, like I said, I respect if that's what you want, right? But I would use that as an example, right? Because I do have friends that are lady friends that have college education. But the thing is, if you talk about the dating market, dating population, right, of men, I think this, I think 60% of our colleges are made up of women. So it's like so as men in college,
not the engineering colleges, not the engineering colleges.
Yeah, right. But in America, like, I think 60% is 40%. So like men pursuing college education is so your dating pool is just college educated men. And the thing is, like, if only 40% of men are getting college degrees, I don't know if the last time I looked at the statistics, so there's like 60% of men without college degrees that you're not giving any time and attention that could be a potential mate. But I'm just speaking of, like, that's one of the barriers, right, that we have to deal with. And I have male friends too, right? All they want to date is the IG models. And I'm looking at them like, are you serious? Those IG, that's not the everyday girl you're gonna meet.
No, right? I agree. I mean, I think we all have checklists in our head running all the time. For me, I would say, like I said earlier, I need to click with a person. I don't care if the society finds that person good looking or not.
Yeah.
I have to find that person attractive. That's how it is for me. And it doesn't need to be IG model or whatever. I need to feel attracted. And as far as you said, like, all those boxes regarding education and profession, I often say, like, if I'm working with somebody, if I know someone, before I know what they do for a living or whatever, and I like them, I would give it a chance. But I haven't had that opportunity. I mean, the only pool I can dive into right now is an online pool where I'm going to find someone in my age group or the qualities I want, like, around me. I can't find them at work. I won't be able to find them, like, in a grocery store. So, I mean, I do feel like, even though there's a huge disadvantage to these apps, but for somebody like me, the significant advantage too, because I can actually choose and select, like, who I would like to initiate conversation with.
All right, no worries. So, yeah, ladies, thank you so much for that was a good conversation to start it off. I do have two guys that I see in the waiting room that they want to jump on.
But Will, I have a question for you for your wrap-up speech that you gave. I do have a question.
Go ahead.
I know you mentioned, I think the gist of your wrap-up conversation was more about a person who supports her husband. Mm-hmm. And I remember clearly bringing that point up. And I do remember Sage talking about the support too when she started. So, I mean, that part is there. I think, like, from what I got in the conversation, like, the ladies and myself, we did talk about, like, quality of a wife, role of a wife to support her husband, like, okay. I didn't use the word exactly like husband, I said partner, because I have a problem with that. And you did talk about the, primal of people, like, of course, we are social animals. Yeah. But if you're thinking from that perspective, according to evolutionary psychology, we are not even supposed to be monogamous, right?
Yeah,
monogamous. There are like 3 to 5% of the mammals, like, who are expected to be like that, but then we are not supposed to be like this. It's pretty recent. So given that, maybe for somebody like William, like, maybe she has such kind of experience where she feels like, okay, a legal document doesn't bind you together, so I don't believe in institutional marriage. I do believe in institutional marriage, but I also know that a legal document could not, bind me together to somebody for a lifetime, because there are other issues, even though I may have tried because of my family, whatever. So I think that part was there. You talked about the feminine traits. I do have this conversation with my girlfriends often, when I say independent, I mean someone, like, who's solution oriented, someone who can provide for herself when needed to. So you talk about, like, how men were providers, but then they would also go away for days and days hunting or for things like that. Yeah. And women were left alone with children. Yeah. So they had to be independent to provide for them. So the feminine traits can still be, I consider myself very feminine. I have this conversation with my friends all the time. I am very old fashioned in certain things. But at the same time, I'm reliable, like independent in a way, like I can financially provide for myself, or if something happens, God forbid, like, I will be able to take care of that. So I think like what you were saying, like none of us talked about the qualities men want in a wife, but I disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree with you on that, because men do want somebody independent. Would they be okay with somebody who just cooks and cleans and does nothing? Like, like they come home and I just cook and clean and take care of children, then this is it. I don't know how to, I want your help to pick a dress for me. I need you around to take me grocery shopping and things like that. So I think like the word independent is very subjective in our heads. And the only way that could be figured out is when two people communicate and talk about what it means to them. Other thing that you talked about, like women, taking charge, maybe because of their experiences in a modern society, we are so disposable in everything, right? Single family, I mean, they're not even like a proper what we used to call like small families, like both parents and children. That hasn't been there, for a long time. There are a lot of single mothers. Now I see some single dads too. So because they had to fend for themselves, so they became the alpha females because they had to. There was nobody to provide for them. So I don't think like it is fair, it's fair on women to judge them based on those things, that they're independent to that extent, for men to consider them like unwifeable or not a good wife material. So just my opinion, and like William said, opinions are assholes because everybody has them, and I have very strong ones.
No, so just that's good. This is the whole point of the podcast. So we have this type of conversation. No, it's like no. So the thing is, like, I'm not judging the women or blaming the women for trying to be independent on their own because of life, right? But what changed because of the great thing about modern society is giving women the opportunity to have their own career and be and be their own and be independent on themselves and take care of themselves, which is great. I'm all for it. That's nothing cool with me. But the thing is, when it comes to a dynamic of a relationship, right? You're still gonna come, for a woman, if you want to be independent, if you want to be strong, if you want to go out and be ambitious and do your own and live it, go out and get your own bag, yeah, that's fine. But the thing is, for men, like like your bag and your education and how much money you make, that's not what we're looking for, especially when it comes to what we are sexually attracted to.
I disagree. Many men do. I disagree. As a woman, I disagree. I have come across instances where that has been the case. I mean, that may be true for you and some people
No, there's been studies, and there's been studies, and it's been proven that what we find attractive is different. Women are attracted to a man's social economic status. These resources, men are attracted to a woman's beauty and just her natural physical attraction.
I agree.
So we don't like. So when men look at you and say, all they look at you is your beauty. They don't really care about how much, what kind of car you're driving. They don't care about how much money you make. That's why when you hear women that say, "I want a guy that's not a bum," right? Because a woman don't want to date a bum, but for men, we would date a bum if she's feminine and if she's attractive enough. We don't care about how much money she makes.
I disagree. I know females like who have been with people who had potential. They were struggling and they knew this person will make it. Have you ever seen a female millionaire date a guy from say McDonald's? I don't know about. I wouldn't go to that extreme.
Yeah,
but I have seen like well-settled women, being with people like who have potential. I wouldn't say like McDonald's. That's just very extreme example that we.
No. But that's saying that you see men all the time with the extremest amount of wealth or money. Just take a girl from an average girl from working an average job and wife her up. You will never see a woman that's a CEO or making a lot of millionaire go and get a guy from that's working an average job, because that's the difference. Men, we don't care about your ability to provide and protect. We just care about your femininity and we find you sexually attractive, your beauty.
Okay, I mean, we can agree to disagree. I disagree with you. And that's fine. I would also blame it to my limited experience with primarily South Asians. And because you said like men attracted to beauty, okay, that may be just in the initial stage. After that, they do want to know what your ambitions are. What do you do? What do you want to do in your life? I haven't seen anybody.
They want a wife. So that's the initial attraction. But then at the end of the long term is a wife that supports him, have children, build a family, and they can build something together, right? So that's a long term. But in order to get that long term commitment, in order to get that marriage, he first has to be sexually attracted to you, which is going to be your femininity and your beauty.
Yeah, that's both that's on both sides. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that once that part is over, in my experience, men do look for somebody that they can have intellectually stimulating conversations, because like you said, when you're in the 40s or 50s, you want a company, but it may not just be like, a trophy wife or trophy husband. You want someone that you can actually share a life with. So that's when you look past that physical beauty, because there's a lot more to a person than that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what commitment is, right? At first, I'm attracted to you. I'm attracted to you because of your beauty. But then once I'm committed to you, once I'm taking that responsibility, then it's forever, because we're all gonna age and.
But then if you don't like what's past beauty, you're gonna change your mind.
Yeah, that could happen too.
Yeah, but then also the same thing for women also. If a guy doesn't have money, so how many times have you seen the guy has money and then he loses his financial ability and the woman leaves, right? So it's just
I did not. I actually supported my ex-husband who.
No, I'm just for you, but I'm just saying is of course I've seen men so many times that they go with the attractive woman and she loses her beauty or she finds somebody more attractive, then he goes with her, right? But that proves my point is that's why we're attracted to beauty matters for some guys.
No,
and for women, it's awesome. It's a socioeconomic status.
Yes. Initially, yes. You're right about that. But I still disagree with a few things. I just feel like
that's fine.
So to me, it might be relatable to other people too. Physical attraction to me is one part. When I see somebody's picture on an app or in general, it is only good enough for me to swipe somebody right, that I want to start a conversation. And then it's just like the first 5 to 6 sentences of conversation, and I know if this person is worth my time or not. So I think most men they're also very aware of these things these days. They don't want to be with somebody who's just like pretty, that's what my experience is, Will. But then there's also like cultural difference here, so I just come to agree to disagree.
No, that's fine. And you brought up a great point. Like you said that you wanted just to date guys with the college degree, right? That's what you said, right? Which
I didn't get a chance to be with anybody less than that, actually. So that is a mentality. I blame it to my culture. Like, I come from a middle-class family back home. So if you are not a landlord, because you have a land, you can live off that.
Yeah.
Those people were not educated back home at that time. But my parents believed that education would equip you with a lifelong tools to provide for yourself. It will also help you broaden your horizon, right? So that's what I have been taught. I learned, and that's what I'm always, attracted to for some reason. So, but you are right. I did not give chance to people like if I see somebody with no college education, I swipe left on them. So I'm guilty of that. But at the same time, I know what I want, and I don't want to waste somebody's time. So
I think your parents were just trying to give you a better life, but I think for you, like I think that's just biologically in your nature for women. Like if you see a guy that has a college degree, if you see a guy that's tall, if you see a guy that's strong with his body, if you see a guy that has money, it's in your nature to swipe to be attracted to him. The same way for a man, if he sees a big titty, big ass, and then he sees a girl with a college degree, he's gonna look at the big titty, big ass.
That is right. I agree with that. 100%.
He's not gonna right. But if you see a guy that's good looking, but then you see a guy that's ugly, but then he has a lot of money, even that guy that's good looking, but you're gonna look at the ugly guy. Dang, he got money. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the ugly guy because he got money. And I know maybe for you, Sage, but how many times have you seen all those millionaires? They're not the most handsome men out there, but they have a lot of girls around them and they have hot wives, right?
Because like as everything, like as we talk so generally, we can also say like some women feel like that and some men feel like that. And especially like as people, we have checklists of what we expect in a partner, and that is completely okay. And as I don't know, like the men that I see in my life, like having a physical checklist is just, and like you always like you keep saying like biology, and I don't see like where like financial goes in biology, because that is a modern social construct. it's like same with big titties and big ass. Like 10 years ago, it used to be tiny ass, tiny waist, big titties. It's not like in biology, it's just what men decide to focus on through the generations. And I feel that that says more on the men versus women.
You don't think men back then liked big titties, big ass?
Sage, I think what
That's always
Sage,
been our history. It's every
I
man.
don't know.
A man,
I
a
don't think
curvaceous,
that's-
a curvaceous woman, a woman that has very curvy, like that's throughout the history
That's
of time.
not
That's
every
all.
man though. There's different men with different preferences.
No,
like
no,
like
no, no,
I
no,
like women. I like women as someone who enjoys women. I don't see
No.
much enjoyment in a curvaceous body. I love like bigger women, like curvaceous in a totally different way that other men would like see as ugly. So someone who finds attraction in women, I just have a totally different like opinion and preference as you do, and like and the other men that you are referring to as well.
No, I would say this, and I'm saying that I'm speaking generally. Every man wants a fat ass, a big titty fat ass woman.
don't say every man. I think
I said most men.
Okay.
They want a big ass, big titties. But here's the caveat to that. Are you able to attract that type of woman? Because that's the top tier woman. The same thing with as women. Most women would want a guy that has money. But here's the caveat to that. Most guys don't have money, but can you attract those men? So if you can't attract those people, then you have to settle for what's available. And that's the reality.
Do they have a potential to be that kind of man who can provide eventually? I think maybe that's what you're referring to. Women want men like who have a potential to provide financially or being responsible. And going back to what you were saying, Sage, I think what Will, and correct me if I'm wrong, what he's saying is like, maybe 20, 30 years ago, people were attracted to women like who were more curvaceous, and that was purely because of the sign. That was a sign of abundance. Like if you look at the history, like 30, 40 years ago, like people,
fertility.
Right. People with like that too. People with like more money, like would have better access to good food, and they were like, fuller than the other people. So that was also an important trait at those times, like maybe 40 years ago or like, 35 years ago. And so I think that's what Will is talking about. But Will, I think you just need to say like some man. I think I agree with Sage on that. Like, yeah.
When I speak on this podcast, I'm not speaking for all. Like everybody knows, I'm making it clear. It's general. We're talking about generalities. So even if I say most men or say all men, I always speak in generalities here because I know there's exceptions. But the reason why we speak in generalities is because we're talking about the dating market today. So in the dating market, the dating market. Yeah, so there's certain qualities that every single woman is looking for in a man, and there's certain qualities that every single man is looking for in a woman. And if you don't know these qualities, or if you ignore these qualities, then that can be a detriment to you having success in your relationships. Because if you don't know what most men are looking for, then it's gonna be hard for you to go to the market and find a good man. And if you don't know as men, if you don't know what most women are looking for, then you're gonna struggle because you're not putting what you offer to the table, what you bring to the table is not what most people are looking for. So you're looking for that, that one person that may be cool with you, but one out of millions of people in the state, in the country, in the world. For me, is like that's not a good strategy to find your partner. So that's just my viewpoint on it. But
or sorry, if I could quick, I definitely I understand where you're coming from. I definitely do understand where you're coming from. I personally am in like a different journey, and like a lot of Native people, we try to decolonize our mental like mindset. So my people and like my family, we don't like to, as we do need financial stability to live, we don't hold financial stability on a pedestal like other people do, which is totally understandable. Exactly. But it's just cultural differences and like just misunderstandings with that. And like exactly like I was like they were saying too, like, and I understand that you speak in like generalizations. I am so sorry.
Yeah, no,
and I totally understand that as someone who is like, I'm very dramatic in how I speak. So I definitely understand that. So like, oh, thank you, baby. But
no worries. So I have these
just differences in cultures. Sorry. Good.
No, that's good. That's great. Yeah, it's great to have these conversations. And I love this the discourse, ladies. I love it. That's the whole point of this. It's like we can discuss this, because this is.
He's never
it's
going to
great.
contact us again, just so you guys know.
No, that's good. No, that's I mean, that's the whole purpose of it, is to have these conversations, and yeah, there's a lot to be learned. There's this. I see 2 people on the waiting list. I'm gonna add them on real quick. I know they've been waiting patiently this whole time. I think there are 2 guys, so I guess they have a lot of things to say to you, ladies. So I'm gonna add on these guys real quick.
I'm leaving. Bye. I'm just kidding.
All right. Let me see if they're gonna jump on and be part of the conversation. All right, I see you. What's up, fellas?
Hi, Will. How are you?
How you guys doing?
Kia ora.
All right. So yeah, thank you for jumping on, and I'm sure you guys have been watching our conversation. So the topic I brought up was what, according to them, like what does being a good wife, a good quality wife mean to them, and what is the role of a wife, and I'm sure you guys have been watching. I've been going back and forth with them, which is great, which is great. But the good thing is there's some fellas out here, and yeah, one of the things that they pointed out is the difference between what we look for as men and women. But I would love to, you guys, just add on your perspective, to add on to the conversation. I'll start with you, Claudia. What was your thoughts about our topic, or anything you want to respond to anything our guest said?
Yeah, I took notes too, since Loveline took notes, and my English will be a little bit better today because I'm not sleepy. So to Loveline, this is not a cultural thing. Nowadays, everybody that has an internet connection, everybody that has a cell phone, etc., women here in Portugal want the same thing that women in the United States, in Canada, in India, whatever. As you guys said before, when we were like million years ago, we wanted the guy that was a good hunter, a good farmer. Today, it's just translated to the bigger house, the bigger car, the guy that can give you a better standard of life. And what I found a little bit funny is that, and I put it on a super chat, is that men are taught since they are young how to capture the attention of women they want. But women, they have so much abundance, they never learn, and when they learn, it's too late. And the funny thing is, if I was talking to a woman and I knew that she was going to be giving me an honest answer, I would say, "Oh, really? Let me point this out." But the funny thing is, you ask what men want about you, the men say, "I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this," and then you take a list out of your bag and say, "Yeah, you are wrong. You need to like this, and you need to like this, and I know a friend that likes this," and you go with small amounts of people. Like my friend, she was pregnant at 42, knowing that that's an exception and not the rule. We're talking about the rule, not the exception. I know that a lot of you guys will get married to a guy that is short, but most women don't want the guy that's short. I know that most women would say, "Oh, maybe I can consider a guy that doesn't have money," but if he has a bigger house instead of living with his mother, if he has a Ferrari instead of a Volkswagen, you'll find him more enticing. Even if you are not focusing on that, you are going to find him more enticing. So it's a little bit funny. And to give the ball to Daniela, I have several notes, but the first one is, you shouldn't look for a partner if your checklist makes the partner that you want better than you. If I'm taller than you, if I'm stronger than you, if I'm an emotional rock and you sometimes shake a little bit, if I'm better than you on paper, how are we going to be partners? Somebody has to lead and somebody has to follow. And following is not being submissive and being abusive. Following is supporting the guy that's usually stable. I usually give this an example. If you are in a company and you had 2 men, a stoic man that usually doesn't show his emotions, and an emotional man, which one do you want it as a boss and giving directions? usually wouldn't be the stoic man that has his shit together and is controlled. Women usually have lack of discipline on their emotions. They are very, very, very unstable when it comes to putting this stuff together and not letting their emotions cloud their judgment. They will run very well when the motor of the car is cold, but when the temperature starts increasing, the discipline that they showed at work, the discipline that they showed at school with their partner is out the window. And I see a lot of women treating worse their partner than they treat their boss, their teacher, etc. So that's what I was going to say. And to finish, it's funny that most men that are independent don't care about the work of the woman. If she was like a cleaning lady, attractive, that treats the CEO of the bank really, really well, you'll say, oh, this lady, every time she smiles at me, she says, oh, how are you, sir? And you will marry her. But it's funny that independent and strong women are not looking for stay-at-home dads. It's very funny. You have the money now, you are independent, you could get a guy that's love you for you are and don't have any kind of resources, but still you want a guy that has the same or more than you. And that's the difference between you guys and I. We don't love the same and we don't like the same thing.
All right, so Claudio, thank you so much. And ladies, before I pass it to Daniela, I want to give you guys a chance to respond. And Claudio, thank you for expressing your thoughts in this podcast. So, ladies, you guys got a chance to hear his opinions, and I always want to promote dialogue and discourse. So, any of you guys have anything to say in response back to him?
If I could just pop in quick.
Oh, go ahead, Sage. Go ahead, Sage.
Yeah, of course. But just as he was saying, like, you don't want someone, like, you have your list, you have everything on your list, and you can't have people on your list that are better than you or more responsible than you or in any way, any meaning of the word better than you. It's the same way for men as well. Like, a lot of women, we have our own list, like, especially as CEOs, we're not going to want someone who is financially unstable because.
Oh, shoot.
You muted us.
Oh, there you go. My bad. I was trying to mute myself because I was coughing. I accidentally muted you. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was so confused. I was like, oh, okay. But like, just, yeah, like, you don't want someone, like, you don't want to write a list of someone who is better than you in the same way as a man writing a list of a woman that is better than him in any, like, sense of the word. Like, if you're a CEO and you're a woman and you are financially stable, why would you want someone? Because you can find someone who loves you and is financially stable as well. It's not like exceptions to certain things on your list. You can find someone who aligns with your list. Same with men. They want to find someone who aligns with their list. That's all freedom to them. Women, we want to find someone who aligns with our list as well.
No.
Can I respond just real quick?
Yeah, real quick, so I can move on. There you go. Go ahead.
The thing is, your list is a supermarket list. Our list is she beautiful and is she teachable? I'm not even telling if she's teachable. And when I say teachable, it's like you women usually like a mind reader. If I'm on the shopping mall, right, and I see a cute dress and I buy it for him before you tell me and I give it to you, the message on your brain is so much better than if we are going to the mall and you said, that dress is really, really nice. Can you buy it for me? It's the same gesture, but because I knew that you liked it, the gesture becomes bigger. Men don't have that problem. If you don't know how to have sex with your man, if you don't know how to cook the things he likes, if you don't know how to clean the things he likes, if you don't know the man says, do this like this, do this like this, and please do this like this. And if you do it, he is going to come here talking to Danielle and to Will and say, man, my woman is perfect. She didn't know what I wanted. I told her, and now she does everything I want. You see, that's the difference between man and woman. Women usually like to be led.
Yeah.
Men usually
Claudio, if I can just
Yeah,
pop in real
go
quick.
ahead, go ahead, Lovely. Go ahead.
Just going by what Sage said, just continuing on that. I'm just circling back to your initial speech, Claudio. I think what you were saying initially, there were like few different things you were talking about. There are few different topics. You know, I mean, yes, they all come to partner, but there were a few different things you were talking about. What I gathered, there were layers of cultural expectations. There were stereotypes in there too. And what you just said right now, you know, if I understood it correctly, and please correct me if I did not, I have a tendency to zone out at times. I feel it's the same for men too. Like you use the word teachable, and I'm just trying to place it in the right sense. I think what you mean is like understandable, right? Like compassionate and who somebody understands you. If I'm just translating it correctly, you know. So I think it's the same for women too. You gave an example of the dress. I mean, that might have been like one incident, maybe with like 2% of total women. It may not be the case with everyone, you know. And circling back to what you were originally saying, there are a few different things that you're talking about. But one thing that keeps popping up is the financial status. I have been with somebody like I thought I had a financial potential, you know, spent years and years. It just went down the drain. So what I think is like most women want somebody who is willing to, like, even if it's not like very rich or driving a Ferrari, you have a bigger house or whatever, who is willing to, you know, do his 100%.
Can
I know
I
people that ask
translate?
me. Huh?
I really understand what you're saying. Can I translate that for a language that men usually talk about? Let me say, I say this. Man, Will, I really don't want a fit woman. As long as she has ambition to go to the gym and then have a nice ass and tits a couple of years ago. Do you see? You guys do this with money. You don't say, I want a guy with money. You say, I want a guy that has the ability from 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, has that money. It's really the same thing as me say, no.
No. I'm financial response. I'm talking about somebody who's financially responsible.
No, but
2 years from now.
But the word ambitious means that you don't have it right now, but you are looking for a guy that is going to get it later.
Because we are going to be equal. In today's world, we are equal partners. I don't want to provide for somebody financially. But at the same time, if he wants 2 years of 3 years, 5 years, let's say he wants 5 years of work because he's furthering his career, whatever, I will support him unconditionally. 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, I'll do that. I'll take care of children too.
Do you think most women want to do that?
I'm gonna
Many
jump in
women
here.
I know in today's world, they are willing to do things for their partner if the partner is also, like, you know, responsible in certain manners and is willing to commit to certain things.
I'm going to say this before Daniela tell this. Portugal has the biggest divorce rate in Europe. The United States is skyrocketing. India has a lot of problems. This is not the number one problem is financial problems. Most women file for divorce. I'm not saying that some women are able to keep it tight and just hold the guy down and still be there and still be with the guy. I say that most women, if the guy doesn't loses his job, loses his ability to provide, that marriage is on the ticking time clock. It's like, he knows, the guy knows, because the attitude at home, the woman starts to stalk him in a different way. And that's the thing, just to finish. Ambition, the word ambition is a masked way to say, I want the guy that wants this, not now, but in 3 years, because you will say that it was hypocritical. If Will said, I don't want a girl that has a nice body, but I want a girl that is ambitious enough to have a nice body in 3 years, Will is saying that he wants a nice body. And that's the thing. Let's start to call the thing by the name.
So you have more expectations of women than we do. We are willing to think of the future potential, you know?
We just have
different. Yeah.
Different.
So you are talking about like now and this. So actually, so then maybe women are a little bit like better in this sense because they are investing in you, thinking like, okay, you know, I will support you now. There has to be potential in the future for you to be a responsible man. As a woman, I don't want to be with a man who I have to provide for the rest of my life. No.
Exactly.
That's what women want.
But Will and Daniela don't mind that if they have enough money. I don't mind it if I have enough money. And that's the problem with modern women. You guys think it's a mirror. I like a guy that's strong, independent, has money, is responsible, etc. So if I like that guy must look for the same qualities in woman. That's wrong. We don't look like we don't look at that.
But that's okay. Communicate. That's why communication is. Communicate your goals with each other. Like, hey, this is what it is now. Like, okay, I like you. For example, I like you very much. This is what I'm thinking about in future. What do you think? Communication is the key. We don't need to be like really sulking over these things. Just talk about it. Simple as that.
If I talk with you,
Claudio, give me 1 second.
I think we're losing the point here. What's the actual point?
Daniel, I want to pass it to you real quick. But Lavleen, this is the purpose of the podcast, so we can talk about it, which is great, by the way. I love this discourse. But the problem with modern society is if men openly talk about it. Remember in the beginning of the podcast, you mentioned that a lot of men don't like independent women, and you call them insecure. So that's the problem.
I still do.
Well, but that's the point about trying to discuss that we just have different sexual attractions. But in modern society, if a woman speaks about what she wants, that's okay for men. That's fine.
No, Will, you missed one thing.
If a man speaks up something you want,
I said communication. I said most men get insecure when they see an independent woman, and before they even get to know her, they will break it up because they are not sure if this is the right person for them because there's a lack of communication.
We don't think that.
When women talk about what they want, I never say, "Oh, those women are insecure," and I'll be like, "Oh, that's what women want." That's because we understand this. But when men speak about what we want, then you will, "Oh, he's insecure."
Let me break this down.
I would appreciate an honest conversation what they want.
Yeah, but to get to the communication, right? You're calling me insecure in the sense.
But you did. But you said that word.
I'm still saying it. All I'm saying is that, I have that experience. Like men see somebody like who's capable of taking care of herself, but before they give it time and effort, they just deem her like, okay, I don't think I can handle it. There's too much going on. So that is insecurity. And I'm talking from a psychological perspective.
No, maybe in your mind you're like, oh, he's insecure. He doesn't want to deal with it. Maybe he's even, I'm not attracted to that. That's what the thing is. I'm just not attracted to that.
But they say I'm still attracted to you. I still want the attraction part.
No. They'll still have sex with you. They still have sex with you.
Exactly.
But they won't wife you. But that's the difference.
The two things about men. When they go into the dating market, and hello everyone, is that we categorize women on two different things when we meet you initially: potential wife or casual partner, and that usually is just casual sex. What you're finding is people just looking at you for casual sex, not necessarily a wife. We don't think that far with women in the sense that when we meet someone, we are automatically thinking about long term. We categorize you whether you're a potential wife or just a casual sex or casual link. So in terms of insecurity, I exist in the corporate world. I have a lot of network within the six-figure arena, and I have these discussions with them all the time. The consistency in the theme of what we look for in women is just what Will is saying. Feminine, enjoys being a woman, and as a potential wife and a mother. That's all we look for. We don't have a metric for success in a woman. We don't have a metric for academic studies. We don't have a metric for any financial gain from a partnership, as everyone call it. So in terms of women in general, it's almost as if you're driving this narration of, I need to be strong, independent. I need to have my own career. Are you actually independent though? Because now you have to maintain the responsibility of providing for yourself. Is that true independency? Whereas a good, strong man will provide that independency for you. All right. We will go well, that's what I'm currently doing. That's what the tiers of men that I expose myself to are currently doing. Their wife is sitting at home cooking and cleaning. When they need to go out and buy a new fridge because the old one has died, it's a card. They go out, they buy whatever fridge that they like. They take the kids.
That might just be you, or like some aspect of some cultures,
No.
Most
we are in
men.
modern, things have changed in the modern society. Things have
Yeah,
changed
based
drastically.
on women not understanding men.
Agreed.
Also, modern
So what's-
society's
yeah,
marriage
what's your-
marriage rates are not
Mm.
working.
And I actually like to work. I like what I do. So I want to work. At the same time, if I want to buy a luxury item for myself, I don't want to explain to somebody that, hey, I need this money because I want to buy this $100 cream for myself.
I think you
But I
guys
don't want
watch
somebody
too
to
many
say-
movies because that's not how it is. Our
Yeah.
financial is
No,
maintained
I
by
don't-
our women.
I
Well,
don't
so-
know
My,
about
my
that.
whole finance is maintained by my wife, and I don't even ask her a question.
That's you. That's you.
I will say this, because I know Lavlini said, I think your relationship didn't work out, or I think who else said it? I think it was, I don't know, Miriam said it. A lot of times when you have, failed relationships, like you bring that into perspective especially when you come out talking about.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you always talk about the
Mhm.
extreme, right? The worst case scenario. Is there a scenario
you have to think of worst case scenario, but I'm a very optimistic person by nature, that's how I am. And that's why I spent almost 10 years in that particular relationship. But what I was trying to say is that so it's good that Daniela has that kind of relationship with his wife. At the same time, like we're talking about finances, there's some kind of budget, right? So if I know that I enjoy working and I enjoy working, I can make extra money. So if I make extra money, I know I can afford this because I want this. I don't have to really wait for another 10 years to get this. So I don't, and secondly, I have a hard time asking somebody for money, like even my own father, I don't feel comfortable saying okay, I need $1,000 because I want to get a few things for myself. Now I know there's a budget and we both know okay, hey, I'm gonna take, you can still discuss okay, I'm gonna spend this much money, I'm saving this for my birthday gift, I'm gonna spend this much money on this gift for myself. But I don't actually have to ask him, and that's where many problems start. What I have seen in the previous society where women were primarily homemakers, that's what the issue would be. Women would want certain things, and because of the lack of affordability, it may not happen, and there would be this tension, this tussle in the house going on that will ruin the relationship between two partners.
Can I just correct 5 seconds? 85% of the consumer based in the world economic is run by women. They might not get the 85%, but because they are married, they control the finances of the home. They control what car you get, control what the kids are going to school. 85% of consuming base in Europe is 78, United States is 85. Yeah. And you guys control the majority of the money in the household because you do shopping, because that's your decision. That's not the decision of the men usually.
I have slightly different experience.
Can you work
with
while
that,
you're pregnant and 3 years after your pregnancy?
What's that?
Can you work during pregnancy and 3 years after pregnancy?
I missed the first part of that. I only heard pregnant.
It's just a general question.
No, he said,
can you work during pregnancy, the full term, and also 3 years after?
I mean, personally speaking, coming from a mother who did actually work in the Air Force while they were pregnant with my brother, women we take pregnancy like a smack in the face, like nothing ever happened. We take that shit like bad bitches.
But you have more
we
risk
still
of
have we
miscarriages.
still need to have maternity leave because that is just what's fair and what we need for
it's a new birth. You need to
maturing
recover.
a baby. Yeah.
But Sage, I want to ask you, when you say you were pregnant before, is that what you said?
No, my mother. I was speaking about my family.
No. So Sage, if you get pregnant one day, do you prefer to work during your pregnancy, or would you rather prefer a guy to take care of you during your pregnancy?
It depends what I do. I don't know what I do as a career right now, but if it's very labor,
if you have the finances,
then of course not. If I had the finances, of course not. Of course not, because I have the money to not do it. Because I have the money, not my man. I have the money to do it.
How many jobs will let you work right through, and what is the financial pay scale of that job that will let you work through pregnancy? These are the things that you have to think about, because you're talking about money. You have to quantify it. If you want to work during pregnancy, what's the pay scale of that job, and how can you provide for yourself?
I mean, you have a valid question about here, like about managing your finances, but I think we are just going a little bit off topic here. It's just being narrowed down to a very specific topic. And we will probably need a podcast with our two amazing guests with that particular topic, you know?
No, what I was leading with that question is that it's more towards the men. Men needs to step up and be able to provide and protect, but women also needs to allow men to do that.
Let's do that, guys. Guys, come and provide for me.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Please,
I'm here to be taken. Provide for me. Provide for me. Provide for me. Let's
you know
do
what's
it.
the problem with providing is that we just need to feel
a feminine woman.
Yeah, you just
get inspired by that.
We have no problem in providing as long as you are not in a place of fear, like just in that position. As long as we feel needed and appreciated, the men will provide you with no problem. The problem nowadays is that women are approaching, like you guys have many relationships before you get married, and you accumulate very
you can't say that, because I didn't. I was married. I didn't have a boyfriend.
We are talking in generally. I could be a virgin at 32, but I'm not.
Okay, but let's be careful with over speaking like on each other, because
no, the podcast is open, so we're just talking about generally. So I don't want to limit anybody.
That's fine, but as long as we're not like speaking over each other.
No, but
I agree.
Your experience with marriage, Lovely.
Say again. I'm sorry.
I would love to hear your experience with marriage and why it didn't work out, and what were the qualities of the man that you were married to.
I have another question. What you guys were talking about. Sorry, Sage, if I was over speaking you, I didn't mean to.
Oh, go ahead. No.
I completely blanked. Oh my God. I don't know. There's just so many things here that are just not fitting right. Also, I noticed another pattern that when it's convenient for us, we talk about modern society. When it's not convenient for us, we go back like maybe 20 years back about providing and all that. If you're being the provider at the same time, I think like marriages were more like set up like without the dating apps, like in a community or by parents, because they would look at these things. This man is sufficient to take care of, our children or my daughter or whatever. So I just feel like there's so many different things that are just going everywhere. So we need to stick to one topic. First of all, I dropped my earring, but anyway.
The thing is, men didn't change. Only woman. You say modern society, woman change. Men and woman change. No, men usually want the same thing. They wanted 50 years ago, 100, 300, a beautiful wife that follows his lead.
I didn't have a choice. Somebody says to me like, hey, you know what? Somebody's not open with me. Somebody's abusive. And they're like, oh, I will just pack my suitcase and leave. And I'm just sitting there with no family, pregnant, and thinking, okay, what I'm going to do. So that's another thing. I also noticed like when people have power, they do abuse it, So you're saying you are going to provide for me. God forbid something happens, to you. Where does it leave the woman? Like she needs to be in the know of something. She needs to have some source of.
If you are working, imagine.
But I'm not working. You're providing for me.
But the thing is, you are married with Daniela. Daniela is providing the necessities, not the luxuries. If you are working, even if it's 4 hours, anything, you are getting a little bit of money. I'm not saying you're going to spend it every day, but the thing is, you look at men. When men say provide, it's not just money. You have a flat tire, I will change it for you. No need to go to the shop and spend money on that. You have a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You see that's a lot of things.
That's taking care. That's taking care. Yes. But that goes both ways. All I'm saying is because we're in a very totally different world nowadays. The views on perspectives on marriage have changed. Even like who you can be married to, even that part has changed. Lots of things have changed, right? So we just need to like maybe have a little bit an open mind and not just judge women on the basis of like your checklist running in your head. Maybe give it a little time and effort before categorizing her as a casual sex or a wifey material, because that is complete judgment to me.
Absolutely.
When women look at biology, they don't do that. No, when women look at men, they don't say he's a casual sex or he's a long-term partner. When women look at men, they don't say, oh, casual sex, long-term partner. I'm speaking in general now.
You're not a man.
Women don't do the same. Women go to the guy that is
Taller,
yeah, taller,
Mm.
stronger,
more
etc.
money.
I am
If
a
the
woman
guy-
and I'm speaking. I'm
Just
a
like
woman,
men.
and I just
No.
denied it.
Let's just calm down a little bit. Let's compare the two sexes. Men look at a beautiful woman. They want to have sex with her. After they have sex, they say, she's funny, she's pretty, she seems like to be loyal, a good mother.
Feminine.
Let me go long term. Woman, usually in 2021, have dozens of partners, 3, 5, 10, 13, whatever, before getting married. I know, Loveline, you are the specific guy, but you are not the modern woman. You had one partner. Most women had multiple partners. And what happens?
No, I'm not saying I only have one partner.
Let me just finish. Loveline, let me just finish the point. The thing is, women have these two strategies too. If he's funny, if he's cute, and if he's buffered and he's tall, I can sleep with him. But he has nothing in his head. He's not responsible. He's a ladies' guy, and he goes around and around. I'll just go be with him like 1 week, and then I'll go leave him. But at 30, when you want to get married, or 35, or 25, whatever, you look at other aspects. You look at the guy that is responsible, that will be there for you, has his shit together. You guys do exactly the same. You judge us by what we provide at the time. If he's instant or if he's long term, and we don't say anything.
It's just different. It's just different.
It's just different, but we just do the same.
Okay, we need to agree to disagree. All I want to say is that as a woman, I think Sage, Vivian, and myself, we have been denying some of the things that you have been saying. But still, you keep coming around and say women do this.
Can you give me an example?
Hold on.
Agreed.
There are three different women
Absolutely.
from 3 different maybe decades or generations, and we have denied maybe 80% of the things that you are saying. But I still keep hearing you women do this, you women do that. All I'm saying is that it's different for each of us. And like you said,
How is it working in modern day society?
No, and absolutely.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you. I was just saying.
No, go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, though. But no, that's real, though. It's just like we're over here saying that how we are and how we react and how we like just go through life with these things. And we're just being told that like it's biology. I don't see in biology or in our DNA that like, and I am also a woman who finds other women very attractive. So I don't see where it is in my biology to see like a big ass and big titties or like
in your biology.
And another. Okay,
No,
1 second, please. 1 second, please.
female.
1 second, please. But it's like with men who want women who are like skinny. It's the same thing that men want women or women that want men that are very tall. We have very similar expectancies on other, like on the opposite gender. And I'm sorry, I'm just a little flustered to like, just like a lot of things race into my head while this conversation is going on. So I might be like misspeaking a little bit, but it's just like, it's how women, we have experienced our, like us saying how we feel in the past as well. It's very much the men who is projected and put on a pedestal. Their opinion, the men's opinion is always like put on the pedestal, but women, we can never just speak for ourselves. And like, especially someone who I identify with a very masculine and a very feminine spirit. I identify with men. I identify with the masculine like energy. I identify with that, but I just don't identify with this like financial, like, I don't even know that it's like in their biology to be financially like dependent. And it's like, as a woman and a man, I feel like as either partner, regardless if I'm with a woman or a man, I want to be financially independent regardless. I don't want a man to like, for me to be dependent on to rely on that money or whatever. And I don't want a man to rely on my beauty or my youth, because all of it is very surface level. We're all on the surface, and it doesn't matter about the surface because we're trying to get to that deeper level. That's all that it matters with relationships. It doesn't matter about the surface level, about the financial or how you look. And that's just how I feel personally.
No worries. Thank you for sharing that, Sage. All right. Vivian, I know you've been quiet in the corner right there. So I know we've all been speaking in it, but I want to give you an opportunity to respond because I know I want to give you a chance to because you're part of the podcast too, Vivian. So Vivian, what's your? Oh, you're on mute.
My audio. Okay, there we go.
Vivian,
Yeah,
what's your
so
thoughts?
I'm listening to
Hi,
everybody.
Vivian.
Hello. And, respectfully, again, we each have our own perspective. I can see that maybe you've gathered data, but I think we're currently in a time where we're gathering new data and things have shifted a little bit, maybe not so much to such a drastic degree, but maybe slightly. So that might be something that we see later on, especially me being an anthropology student. I can tell you that there is a lot of data and there's a lot being marketed to us in the media as well. And so I think that, yeah, it does make sense that, yeah, some people do feel this way because it's what they've been taught. And it's like you said, you guys keep saying biology. To some level, I can understand what you mean by that in terms of selecting somebody who is you can be attracted to, who, like you said, teachable, because in my culture in this, we speak Spanish. So Portugal, right next door. So the situation is a little bit different. And if I were to interview a lot of girls in Mexico, they would say that, yeah, they have to look a certain way and they have to make all the money and they stay home and they do what you're saying, so I can totally your opinion is valid to me because I have seen it. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, yo, I've seen that. That's real. It's out there. But I also think that we're in a time where there's so much happening. It is a great opportunity to open ourselves up to other perspectives. Now, here's a story. I always use the term basic bitch, like, man, these basic bitches, like, why can't they be like more open or thoughtful? Like, there's jealousy. Like, I'm not the jealous type. Like, if I'm dating you, I don't get jealous if you look at other women. That doesn't bother me because I have respect for you and I trust you, so that's just one example of how I can be feminine, right? And express myself in such a way. But here's the story. I was walking down the street after work and this guy pulls in from Texas and he's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from here, LA, born and raised. Where are you from? And he's like, oh, I'm from Texas, right? And I go, okay, cool. So what are you doing out here? Oh, just chilling. I fly in every now and then. I like to go out with my friends, go to the bar, kick it, smoke some weed, right? And he's like, but something about the girls out here, man. The girls out here, woo, the girls out here are different. Maybe it's a metropolis city thing. I don't know. New York is similar, Miami, Chicago, right? So there are certain areas within the world that do have these demographics that you speak of, because I've seen them firsthand within family members and within certain communities when I've lived there. But I've also seen that if you travel and you open yourself up to other scenarios, you might get lucky. It is a little like sad to hear because I see a lot of people too as well for what I do, Loveline. And so in this data that I gather, when I see them, they speak of this. They speak that LA is no place for love because what they're looking for, they can find in places like Texas, if that makes sense. And these like suburbs, so to speak, these bedroom districts, right? Where people live this way. And it's interesting. And I am very introverted and introspective. So for me, it's not that it's hard for me to share, but if you ask me, I'll let you know what I'm thinking. And so from gathering all of this information, it's like, okay, cool. This is how people live, but it sucks because I don't live that way. I wish I could relate. I wish I could want that. I wish I could be like some of these people. Sometimes when I was younger, I used to be like, why can't I be like everybody else, man? Why can't I be the girl who wears the same shit like everybody else? Why can't I be the girl who's, like submissive or wanting to be a wifey, you know, like, damn, I wish I had that desire because I don't feel it in my soul. And I'm an empath too, so I am sensitive and I can be a romantic, but I still don't have that desire to fit these archetypes that have been fed to us. And I wish I could, because then I could relate to some of the things that you guys are sharing, you know, as men, right?
All right.
I wish I could be that way.
All right, no
But
worries.
also, oh, my bad. Sorry.
Can
No,
I
no,
ask
no,
a
no.
question, Will, to Vivian, so she can talk a little bit? Can I ask a question? Just
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Give it one question. Go ahead. And we'll come back, and then we'll come back to you, Sage. I got you.
I have a question.
You're good.
You talked about archetypes, the woman that stays at home and is happy, taking care of their kids, and it was something that was fed to us. Don't you think most women nowadays are fed I'm independent, I'm a boss lady, I do it all by myself,
To some
and
degree, yeah.
they are, and most of them in reality, if you ask them really deep down, they would say, I think I want to have kids and stay at home.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's the truth?
I've seen many women who that's all they want, you know? And so when I do bump into some of these women, because it's not every woman, but when I do bump into these women in real life, when I have these conversations, it's like, damn, I wish I could do that. I wish I had the desire to want to be with somebody like that and be attached to this relationship, man. Because
I wish I had a man I could trust and could
No,
lead, so I could
trust
fall
me,
back
I've been
to-
engaged multiple times, but I can't marry the guy because I just feel so completed as myself. I feel happy, and I actually feel more like I provide for my whole tree, my whole family tree. So not so much husband, but more like I love taking care of my family. My elders are important to me. So I don't connect so much to just the possibility of only husband, but instead I like to be the auntie. I like to be the granddaughter. I like to be the sister-in-law that helps you, you know, but I don't really feel like I'll fill that hole, you know?
Okay.
It's not in me.
All right. And thank you for sharing that, Vivian. And then Sage, you have something to say?
I was just gonna say, like, that really is what I personally see with the women surrounding me, is like they feel this societal pressure to be a wife and to have kids and to make offspring. And like a lot of women in my life are very independent and very like strong-willed in themselves, and they go around and they're like, this doesn't fit me. And like I have a boyfriend, and I do like being that, I don't know, wifey stereotype or whatever. Like I just like being a partner to my partner. So it's like but I never like want to feel the pressure of I have to raise the kids or like be the nurturing one or be the keeper of the home or whatever. Because especially like as someone who is trying to decolonize like their mindset, I want to like get back to where my ancestors were before we were colonized, before we had all this awful shit happen to us and we were told by society and colonization that this is how we're supposed to feel and this is how we're supposed to act. And especially with marriage, like Native people, we never had marriage until colonial people came over and said you had to be married to your partner. We didn't even have like last names. Like we just did not, we had a completely different like social construct than we do right now. So it's like just trying to put everybody into that box is just not realistic. There is no biology to like how we feel as people, because especially like, I mean, I am someone who identifies, like I said before, sorry to bring it back up, but like identifies with a masculine and a feminine spirit. So like, but I also identify as a woman, because even though I identify with those masculine, I believe we all have those masculine and feminine features and those energies. I feel like we all have them because we do. Like even when it comes, like when we go back to biology, we all have estrogen and testosterone. We all have testosterone. And especially like as a woman of color, I have a higher amount of testosterone than other women. So if we want to talk biologically, like it just gets into such a fuzzy mess of just like what we are projecting onto other people, what we want.
Can I run an exercise with the biological thing? Do you find either three of us men attractive? Do you find either one of us men attractive or not?
No, because I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend. That's also your biology.
It's suppressing your will to look elsewhere for mate because you're now with another person. Here's a little bit deeper because we're now a little bit more self-aware. That's your biology telling you that you already have a mate. And not only that, we might not be attracted to you. That's your biology. You may not know it. Features of my nose, features of his forehead. That's your biology. That's how you judge people. That's why biology is such a big thing.
Or you just might not be like attractive to me personally. And that's like just a personal preference. That's not like biology. It's just personal. It's personal preference. It's not like I still can find people attractive. Like I still find women attractive, even though I am with a man. I have a boyfriend. I still find women very attractive. Like the women on here, so stunning. Our guests.
But biology contemplates that too. Biology contemplates that too. 95% of every species in this planet have homosexual behavior. Biology contemplates even that. And even if you are a woman with a little bit more testosterone than the other woman, you don't have 30 times more testosterone than like the other men have compared to women. That's the thing. That's the numbers game.
And also Sage and Miriam and Lovely. I mean, like, I'm sure. Do you guys sleep with all men, or do you select certain men to sleep with? Or do you just any guy that's as long as a man, you just give it up?
No. Again, I didn't understand.
No, like do you sleep with any man that comes your way, or do you select certain men to come your way? Have sex with them?
No, I don't. Just like I don't sleep with any woman that comes my way.
Well, that's biology, because your biology is allowing you to select certain things that you want to sleep with. Because if there was no biology, you just sleep with anybody.
Yeah.
If there's no difference, you sleep with
so your biology, your nature, it's hardwired in you to be selective of what you're attracted to. That's biology. If there was no biology, say you just
or it's just your personal preference and how you've been raised. Like biology is in your DNA and who you are. Like it's nature versus nurture. Nurture, like a lot of people, but there's a lot of theories that you're attracted to people. I don't even know like who said this. That you're attracted to people who like look like your parents, and it's like there's just so many theories of who. There's so many theories. There are so many theories on who you are attracted to, and that does not matter. That does not matter because you are attracted to who you're attracted to. I just don't like.
Look, the way people look is based on how their biology is made up. That's how people. That's why we look all different. It's the instruction within our DNA.
I understand
that's
that.
why you're attracted to certain people. Then, especially reverting
back
to what you said about
look like you, look like your parents.
That's a biological feature.
Yeah, and I definitely get that. But I don't know how.
No, I agree with Sage on things like there's so many different theories, and the prominent one is like most of us are subconsciously attracted to people who have the same traits as our parents in the opposite sex.
Subconscious is your brain. It's biology.
Right. No, I'm not talking. No. My topic is not biology. I'm not talking biology. I'm just going off by
bias is your brain.
Subconscious is biology.
Okay, we can't speak over each other like this. She was saying something. She was saying something.
Right?
She was saying something, and I would like to let her finish her thought.
No, we're good.
Okay, let me wrap it up. You're taking me off my topic, Daniela. If you let me finish my thought, you would know where I was going with that. I was going somewhere else with what Sage was saying. I was not focusing on the biology part. It would have gone somewhere else. But I'm just going to drop that topic. Circling back to your question, consider me old-fashioned or whatever, but that something like the question that you asked me, do I sleep with every man? There's a huge cultural taboo for me even to, have a conversation on such topics. And it's a mental block, believe me. sleeping with people is sleeping with men I find attractive. It's just not even on my checklist. I need to figure out if there's some potential with somebody for future before I will get to that stage. So maybe that's why, you know, a lot of people just fall through so many layers before I even get to that point with anybody. So that's what I was trying to say, that we all are so different. Even though I live in 2021, Sage lives in 2021, so does William. We all are so different in our approach towards attraction, towards the partners, for the people we attracted to. So my problem is that we are going off topic here. There's so many different things going on. Now we're talking about theories on what we're attracted to. Then we're talking about the cultural aspects. Then we're talking about the man providing in what society. Then we're talking about, oh, would you like to work during a pregnancy or not? There's so many different dimensions of here. If I understand correctly, I think your main focus is about like maybe you guys are focusing more on like a hegemonic man. I believe in gender roles, okay? Though I do like the little bit fluidity. I have seen my dad doing the household work, helping, despite having a maid, he would help, you know, at home. I've seen my brother doing the same. My husband did the same thing. At the same time, I do believe in clear gender roles. There are things that I would like my male partner to do for me. I'm straight, so I can only speak on one experience. Mine is not like really varied experience as other guests. Right. So I believe in those clear gender roles, and those are my checklists running in my own head. And just going back to this whole conversation, we all have our own perspective on what we want in a person, and all of us will disagree on some of those things. And what I'm thinking is, maybe I learned it because I've spent so much time teaching young adults. Like maybe I changed. If we had conversation this topic maybe 15 years ago, I would be saying totally different things. But after a PhD and a dissertation and working with children on spectrum and so many adults, diverse populations, refugees, immigrants, you name it, you know, I have learned one thing, that I am not the same old-fashioned, narrow-minded person in many ways. I accept perspective. So Daniela, what may work for you in your relationship may not work for me because my partner is not on the same wavelength as you are. I could be on the same wavelength, same domain, you know, in the
I'll
same
just add
domain.
on, I'm not going to disrupt you, just to add on. The reason why I have the opinions that I have is because I'm a project manager in construction, which is the majority of men currently in New Zealand occupy that space. Not only that, my level network also expand into healthcare and manufacturer. So I get to deal with a lot of men who are going through relationship issues based on what these discussions that we have. It's not just my opinion, it's men that are depressed, men considering suicide. And part of my strategy and management is to deal with these men in the sense that I deal with the humanity versus performance. And
Too much pressure. The hegemonic aspect.
It's not
of
pressure.
man.
It's just men are told to be more vulnerable, more emotional, to create that fluidity where it's so unnatural to them that they cannot fully express. And when they do, they don't know how to regulate.
That's where the gender roles come into play.
Exactly.
That's where the communication. You divide. That's where the understanding, communication comes through. You see what you can do, what I can do. That's what we have been saying from the beginning of this podcast. Like, you know, if you just say like, this is what I can do easily, but this is a challenge for me. So what are your strengths? What you can do? That's all it takes. If your partner doesn't want to work, you know, that's her choice and your choice. But at the same time, somebody saying like, I am too independent or whatever, I don't need a man. That's not right. I do want a partner and I do want him to do certain things. But I mean, was I always like this? No, my experiences made me like this. I learned, which is fine. I am in a really good place. But we just can't judge others without knowing them based on what they do or how they project themselves. I don't know the real you, Daniela, or Claudio, or Will. You know, somebody who knows the real you would have spent time with you. In the same way, you may see me as an independent woman. And when I said men get insecure, that is because that is my own experience. I collected my own data over the years. You know, as a single mother, I collect my own data. They see somebody who can provide for herself. They see somebody who's not desperate to be with somebody, right? And that can be an insecurity. When I say insecurity, if you look at the traits of insecurity, like smothering a woman with like love or whatever, trying to get her attention, these can be traits of insecurity because you don't have enough confidence in you that who you truly are. Like, I would like that without you doing this extra stuff for me. Does that make sense?
But
That
let
give me
me,
more effort.
let me,
The red flag is your single mother.
But
That's one of the things.
Wait. No. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're not
I
going to
will
do
do
that.
that.
You're not going to do that. No, you're not, because that is disrespectful.
Sage.
No,
Did you say
that's-
single mother is a red flag? Is that what you said?
This is open, guys, real quick. Like I mentioned before, this is an open forum podcast where people can speak. You don't have to agree, but we're not gonna, we're not gonna attack people for what they say. So if you don't believe in it, that's fine.
I need to use bathroom. I'll be back. And did you say being single mother is a red flag?
Well, for most men who
most
are
men
going
it
to the
is.
date, yeah.
Oh, so it's
Yes.
my fault that I'm a single mother. It's my
No,
fault that
it's
my
not
saying
saying
it's your
for
father
most
is an
men.
addict.
For
when
most men,
we,
it's-
yeah, most men will not date you seriously if you have a child.
Actually, it's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite.
Then are you in a relationship if that's the opposite?
I'm not in a relationship because I don't want to be. I haven't
Exactly,
found the
that's-
right person.
That's
But
exactly
do I
what
have
it is.
choices? I have 20 people who actually want to spend their lifetime with me, but I'm not ready to get married. I want to get to know the person this time. I don't know what kind of people you have been interacting with, because you said like you have a lot of interaction, which is great. You have your own experiences. I do have a lot of choices. Maybe that's why I'm not desperate. And I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything in any way. I'm not. But it did make me feel better that, I have all these choices. Despite that, I'm not tying myself with somebody who's financial. And these people I'm talking about in my age group, they're well settled financially in many other ways. But I still chose not to be with any of them at this point because I need to click with somebody the way I want it to be.
Exactly. And that's another thing too. Like you have to look
I
at
do
someone.
need to use bathroom.
Go ahead.
What are the gender roles you guys say? I believe in gender roles. She said, what are the gender roles that you believe in? If everything is fluid, no, there's no gender roles. If the father helps at home and the brother helps, there's no gender roles.
Well, the thing is, Claudio, like I think what a lot of modern women don't is like they don't. There's gender roles, but we have primary roles in our gender roles, right? So can a man help once in a while with the laundry? Yes, but that's not gonna be his primary role, right? Can a woman, you know what I'm saying? So like just because a man helps you with the laundry, it doesn't mean that he's gonna take that full response and do that every single day. Like we can help each other. That's what relationship is. But we have primary roles that we need to put most of our attention to. That I'm not gonna do laundry every single day. I can help out my wife once in a while if she happens to get sick, if she happens to something, if she broke her leg, God forbid, and I need to do that for a little bit. But my primary role is gonna be provide and protect. I'm gonna go out and provide and protect. My primary role is not gonna be doing laundry. And a lot of times, modern women is like they see one guy help out with the laundry, and they think that every single guy out there is going to do that. But the reality is, men who want to be provider protectors, they want to be in their role. And the same way, that's why we look for feminine women. Feminine women don't have a problem with being in their role. They like to do that stuff, and they're willing to do it on their own free choice. It's when you talk to women who are very independent or women who may be masculine, they may have a problem with that, and that's why those masculine men, that's why they go with the feminine woman. Daniela, you have something to say?
I am going to jump off this call. It's 11:30 p.m.
Oh, no worries.
California
no
time.
worries.
My son
is
about to get into bed. I need to spend some time with him. But Virian, Sage, I would like to follow you guys on TikTok.
You know what? Let's just close it out, guys. Let's just close it out. Let me ladies, can you go ahead? Can you guys go ahead and just say your last thoughts and also say your social media platforms so people that's watching right now they can follow you. So Daniela, Claudio, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you so much
for your opinion. Thank you for
your perspective. So you guys, I'll see you next time. You guys can log off. But ladies, go ahead and just what's your last thoughts, and also how can people find you if they're watching this right now? They want to follow you. How can they find you? Because I do want them to support you as well. And I'll start with you, Sage. Go ahead and last thoughts, and how can people find you?
Okay, last thoughts. Women are more than you think. We are human. believe it or not, just like men, we are of the same species. A lot of people don't think that. I'm joking, of course. But I am Sage Big Mountain on Instagram. I'm not always this sarcastic, my bad. But on TikTok, I am Sage Atakae. It doesn't have an N in it because I misspelled it and it's just like that. So yeah, and I would love to have like more conversation. Like if you have anything else that you would like, anyone would like to like talk to me about, please DM me on Instagram. That's really what I do, like respond to as Sage Big Mountain. So I appreciate you having me on this podcast as well.
No worries, no worries. Vivian, last thoughts and how can people find you?
Actually, I'd love if Loveline, you want to go first because I know you said you have to go.
No, I
You
can
sure?
wait.
Okay, all right. I think, you know what? I think after just like hearing everybody talk, I find that there's probably people in different parts of the world looking for people who are on the other side of the world. And I think that it would be so beautiful to see you grow this network to potentially maybe help people come together, because it seems that I'm coming from, again, I'm representing Mexico as well when I speak. There are people who are looking for that type of man. And I'm not sure what your statistics are because I don't have the reference, but I know there's a lot of holes that can be filled. And right now we're in a time where I believe, thanks to the technological innovation and us being able to speak like this globally, I mean, you guys are everywhere, right? I think this is a great time to open up the discussion so that we can connect in this way, because I think there are people who are here who want one thing and they don't find it here, but it's somewhere else. And I think this is such a great opportunity to bring this up. So thank you for having me. And you can follow me on Instagram. It's Virian, but with the number 1. So V1RIAN. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Vivian. And last but not least, Lovely, last thoughts and how can people find you?
Right. So, well, anyways, thank you everyone for listening to my sarcastic views, and I'm very sarcastic. That's who I am.
I get that. I relate.
Right. And I do agree with William and Sage both that, we all have our own perspectives, and William, I totally agree with you. It's very important for people from different extremes to come together. It's a great platform. But we do need to remember, like, we need to be kind because some of us don't have that exposure, right? Even within my own family, I know people like who think completely different than how I think, and which is totally okay. It's totally okay. So it was a great platform. It was a great experience to hear everyone, hear your thoughts and share mine. And you guys can follow me on Instagram. It's Miss Almost Always Right. I don't know if I can show. I know it's a very sarcastic name. Miss MS Almost Always Right. It's the same on TikTok. I started as a joke, but then I just kind of I'm gonna stick with it. But that's it. That's all I want to say. Like, take your time, make an effort if you really like somebody. And we all are same. At the end of the day, we all want somebody who loves us for who we are, who is there for us when we need them, right? So that's it.
All right, no worries. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, ladies, thank you so much for jumping on. And yeah, ladies, thank you for taking the time. And I know we went a little bit over because the conversation was getting heated. But like I said, that's the purpose of the podcast is we have to have this uncomfortable conversation because at the end of the day, modern day dating and sex relationship, it's a real thing that's happening in this world. And for a lot of people, it's hard, and a lot of women and men out there, they struggle. And I think this conversation is going to be a tough one, especially when it comes to both men and women. But I think that through conversation, we can, figure out a solution. Because if we don't have a conversation, if the men just stay on that side and the women stay on that side, and everybody's just blaming each other, and then I don't think that's a solution. I think we have to come together and talk this out. Yeah. So I thank you for allowing the guests to come on, and thank you for having the open discourse. And I know there's a lot of things that was said today. It was a lot of you guys probably disagreed with it, but thank you for just continuing the conversation. I saw Sage. You were getting heated up, Sage.
You already know, like I mean, y'all don't know, but you get a native girl mad, you're gonna get bit in the ass.
He's
But no,
passionate.
it's all
yeah.
good conversation.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
passionate. Yeah, we like. I like that. I think it's okay to stand up for things that we believe in. So it was
yeah.
perfect.
That's fine. That's fine.
Absolutely.
Like I told you guys, hey, it's gonna be we gotta get real in here.
Yeah, for real. And it did.
And it
There was
did.
no
And
lies.
it did. I already did. Yeah, thank you, ladies, for jumping on, for taking the time, and I will hit you guys up in the future. I'm not gonna just ghost you guys.
You better not block me. You better
I'm
not.
Hey, you better not block me. It's like, hey, and if you do block me, hey, that's okay too. No love is lost. No love is lost, ladies. No love is lost. But thank you so much. And if you watch this right now, like and subscribe and support these ladies. Find their channel. I'm gonna include them in the description and definitely support them. And some of them are single, so if you want to shoot your shot.
Thank you. Great meeting you guys. Bye.